Hey, hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm getting a bit of feedback.
Okay, could be me.
I'm getting a bit of feedback. Let's see. Okay, are we good?
Okay, are you still getting the
Oh
feedback?
yeah, no more feedback. I think it's
Okay,
it's 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 good now. And
okay.
hello, everyone. Listen, this is one interview that I have been waiting for. I have been looking forward to this particular one for a while, and let me tell you, I'm so excited. Guys, listen, I've got a very special guest with me today, and yeah, before I introduce her, let me say hello to everyone in chat. But first of all, let me see you're looking radiant as always.
Thank you. You
Always
are
looking,
too.
thank you very much. Always looking gorgeous. Always, just looking like you've got no worries in this world at all. I'm sure you have none.
Of course, we all have our worries. That's life. Life comes
Right.
with its own ups and downs. And I mean, if you're living a life without worries, then you're probably just floating through life. So
I
yeah,
doubt, I doubt
so
it.
yeah,
I
we do have our ups and downs. It's just how we see it and how we cope with it that matters. And are we just
right.
determined to make the best of every minute of our lives? That's it.
Well, you're absolutely right. Well, first things first, let me say hello to everyone in chat. Steve McRae. I think Steve McRae manager was first. He's always first. Always first. Always seems to Derek thinks he was first. Derek, I don't think so. The trouble with the comments is that some people, they get here first, they get here like hours ago, and after a while the comments just cleans off, so you think that you're first. So Derek, you have to try again next time. I don't think you were first, and I don't even think you were second, maybe not even third, because I think there's a competition between two people here, who is first and who is second. It's usually Steve McRae manager first, and then Ian Davenport. I think that was the order for today. I'm not entirely sure, but yes. I think that's what's happened, because look, Ian says, "Wow, Steve, you're making me mad." Ah, right, so let's see. Derek is here. Hey, Derek, good to see you. D, hello, D. Steve McRae, manager, hello again. Hey, look at the trees. Therefore, God, hello again. Seen you early on today. Hey, Scapegoat Iscariot, hello, good to see you. Gearwalk, hello, good to see you too. Electric Cane, did you manage to sort that thing out? I've tried to send it back to you so that you can send it back, but I honestly don't know what's happened. So you'll have to check again and maybe resend it, because on my end I don't know what happened with it. Yeah, so whatever funds you sent via PayPal has somehow gone back to you. Apparently, there were some conditions I was supposed to meet, something I was supposed to do, and I didn't do. So I just received an email and said, we've had to return the funds, the money back to Electric Cane. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's this about. Anyway, so, but yes, let's see. Hey, hello, good to see you. Hey, Adebola, hello, good to see you. It's good to see you here. Holy smokes, she's easy on the eyes. Electric Cane, behave yourself. Yeah, me see. Some people are already said looking. They've already said I you up. Okay. See anything. Ansel Archives, hey, good to see you. Udrak, good to see you. Rejecting religion is the gateway to total freedom from the bondage the religion offers. I completely agree. Derek Rabo says, hello, Yemisi. Oh, I'm a huge fan of your blog. The Yemi, the
Yeah,
Yemi.
ministry.
haven't got that link here. I need to make sure I put that link here because
Thank
my
you.
goodness, this lady, not only is she okay, you know what? Let me save that. Let me let's see. It came back. Okay, right. I will resend it. Ah, nice. Good. I'm glad that you saw it. Because I don't know what I was supposed to put on. Religion is a scam. Can we agree? I think we can all agree on that religion is a scam. Unless it's the other people, the people that are sucked in by it, they would think that. But hey, Miss Nick, hello, good to see you. And guys, we've got Phil. Phil is in the back helping us. Phil, you want to show yourself so everyone knows that Phil is actually helping out. Hey, there we are. We got Phil
Hi
helping out
everyone.
in his work.
Why am I
Thank you.
getting the back, kind of getting an echo when you start talking?
You're getting an
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
when I'm talking, you're getting
yeah.
the
I'm getting it's just echoing and buzzing sound, but I can hear you.
okay.
But there is that sound. Yeah.
Now the chances are that you may have you got YouTube open?
I mean, it was okay. See, it was just now that it started this noise. So I don't even know where
You
how
may
am I going
have
to click the link you sent me.
okay. Is that all you have open? That's all you should have open. Just that.
That's all I have on. It was okay until now, but no worries. I can still hear you. So that's okay.
Okay.
As long as you can hear me too.
I can hear you 100%, but I don't want it echoing on your end.
Oh no,
Just
you're
make sure
really echoing. You are really
ma-
echoing now.
now make sure that you haven't got YouTube open. Just have a quick look.
Okay. Um. Okay.
Tell her check Facebook also. If she have
Okay.
Facebook open, it will do that.
Oh, I'm not. You know what? I'm going to close down and I'm going
Okay.
to just sign into this alone. Is that okay?
There you go. It's fine. It's just my pretty face on the screen. You guys get to see just me. Hey, hey. I bet you guys are fed up of this face already. Even I am fed up of the face myself. I'll happily have Dee Budrow or I can have Kalitha, just swap faces with them for the day. This one I can just have a beautiful face for the day. Guys, this is going to be one very, very interesting conversation, I think. Let's see.
I'm
Okay,
back
let
now.
me see. Okay, how is it now? Is
Yeah,
it
that's
is it
okay.
better? Ah,
Yeah,
right.
I can hear
Okay.
you better now.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, I see Ari Adebola says, Yemisi is one of my aunt's names and she's a strong believer and worships in this, not the Celestial Church of Christ. Ah, Derek's okay. It says Yemisi's blog is so elucidating. I was bold enough to become an atheist through your blog. No, not Yemisi out here deconverting people.
Oh,
Yemisi,
that's good to
you've
know.
been busy deconverting people. Okay,
That's good
so
to know. I'm glad.
he was bold enough to become an atheist through your blog. My brother is also a fan. Oh wow, you've got a huge fan base. I'm so pleased. Um, right, let's see. Khalitha. Hey Khalitha, Khalitha's here. Coco Jasmine's here too. Hey Coco. Ebby's here. Hello, good. No, I'm not. Ebby says no. I'm not fed up as yet. Oh, you're not fed up of the face just yet. Ishak. Hey, Ishak says the Afro Atheist greetings from Kaduna, Nigeria. Good to see you. Okay, guys, we're going to start now. Okay, so before I get Yemisi to tell you about herself, I'll tell you a little about what I know about her. I was introduced to Yemisi by Dean Kruger. Dean Kruger, who's always in chat, right? Dean says, Esther, you need to meet this lady. She reminds me of you. Everything just very similar. And I was like, okay, there's somebody that is like me. Who could this person be? And he says, oh, there she is, right? Sent me the link to her page. And I went and I had a look. I was like, okay, wow, whatever this lady is selling, I'm buying. So I've been following her for months, right? Just following her. And I said, one of these days, I'm going to, slide in her DM. I'm going to slide in there and say, look, I'm going to need you to come and tell us about yourself. And boy, did I slide in there. And let's just say, my sliding in her DMs has produced this today. So listen, sliding in DMs is I recommend it. Slide into as many DMs as possible. The worst case scenario, they say no or they kick you out of the DMs, but just be respectful, be nice, and yeah. So yeah, Missy, you're absolutely welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely welcome. Do you want to tell us about yourself?
Yeah, thanks. I'm Yemisi Ilesanmi. I'm born in Nigeria. I'm 47 years old. And I identify very strongly as a feminist,
Oh, nice.
bisexual. I'm proudly an atheist too. I'm also a proud mom of a 27-year-old son who is a lawyer. I'm also by profession a lawyer, and I work in civil service in the UK. I came to the UK about 12 years ago. So I'm settled in UK now. So for me, I'm a published author. You have my blog,
Oh yeah,
my
I've got
book
my oh,
on
is it?
LGBT plus rights titled
I've got
Freedom
it.
to Love for All.
Mm-hmm,
Homosexuality is not un-African.
mm-hmm.
So that was an advocacy book I wrote on the back of the anti-same-sex marriage bill in Nigeria then, just to educate people and inform. So for me, I love writing, and some of you here already have mentioned my blog. So my blog is Geministing. I started that talking. It's on the secular website page for atheists, and I started talking about religion there, about going away from religion, the harm that religion really does to us, and I'm happy that people have said that it has touched them, it has made them pause and think, and that's just all I asked and all I wanted, for people to question what we've always known. So for me, I think that's me. Um I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm feminist, and I'm an activist also. I'm very much an activist. I proudly call myself a social justice warrior because my work when I was in Nigeria, I worked as a trade union organizer and with the Nigerian Labour Congress then for about 10 years. And it's always about social justice also and workers' rights. And now I'm in civil service in UK. I'm still a trade union organizer, still very much for social justice, workers' rights, employment rights. And my law, basically, I studied law was basically geared towards human rights law. So I would say right from the beginning, I've always had that passion for the truth, for justice, for fairness, for equality. And it's not a cap that I just take off when I feel like. So I think it kind of shape who I am as a person.
Hmm.
And that is like, is this fair to all? Is this is this fair? Is this justice? Is this the truth? So that's kind of been my motto, and now I try to live my life.
Okay, so um let me see if I can round it up in a little nutshell, right? Let me see. So number one, you're
Mhm.
a mother of a 27-year-old son who is a lawyer, so an accomplished man in his own right. Um, then you're a lawyer yourself. You're a feminist. You're an atheist. You're an author, a civil servant in the UK, a blogger, and that's another one. And what's the other one? There's one I'm missing. Author, right? I've got your book. I had to make sure before this interview I got the book. And guys, the title of her book is Freedom to Love for All. I'll put the link in the chat. Homosexuality is not un-African. There are many Africans that feel that homosexuality is a white man's thing. The white man brought homosexuality. It's only the white man that engages in that. Africans, we don't do homosexuality, but evidence proves otherwise. The evidence, the things that, many of the drawings, many of the paintings that you see from years and years ago, you see some very questionable uh, drawings, some questionable things. And so it just throws that out of the water, right? That homosexuality is not an African thing. There are cultures still today where women marry women, right? If a woman does not have men in a family, she's allowed to marry women as wives, right? To keep her family name going, to keep the family traditions going. So there's still cultures like that in Africa. And so now I think this is awesome, this right here, because Nigeria criminalizes the LGBT, everything to do with the LGBT. And for Yemisi to have a book that's actually speaking up about the criminalization of homosexuality, I think it's amazing. So she doesn't just talk the talk; she walks the walk, right? And I'll put the link in the chat for her book. And it's not very expensive. So it says on the back that Yemisi takes a critical look at the Nigeria's Jail the Gays bill. And if I am not mistaken, Yemisi, it's 14 years, isn't it?
Yeah. Nah. Yeah, 14 years imprisonment for engaging in same-sex relationship, and 10 years imprisonment, which is the part people don't even understand. That is 10 years imprisonment for advocating for LGBT rights. You don't even have to be, you don't have to be a lesbian or gay. So for you advocate for LGBT rights, it's actually in the law book now that you can be sent down for 10 years imprisonment just for advocating for LGBT rights. It's just crazy, the way things are just
So,
ridiculous. And but
so
people
Yemi,
have been so myopic and so being so bigoted in their opinions that it doesn't matter to them that this bill also kind of criminalizes their own
it
human rights
does.
to expression, human rights to express themselves, to inform, to advocate. It doesn't matter the age that they feel towards the LGBT plus community, just blinded them to the fact that it is also about their own human rights, the curtailing of their own human rights to freedom of expression. It's
You
that
know,
really,
I didn't know about the 10 years.
yeah,
I honestly
it
didn't know that. So, Yemisi, what you're telling me, if me and you were in Nigeria now having this live stream,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
we can have
It
the
is,
police, we can
it's
have the police on at your door and at
yeah,
my door.
yeah. It's just that's part of what I actually pointed out
Gosh,
in my book, that this is not just about the LGBT plus rights. I mean, they will tell you they're coming for us, they are also coming for your human rights also.
that's
And it
right.
is there. And part of the things I also try to explain was in that bill, which is law now actually, it says if you are if you're a landlord and you suspect that your tenant is LGBT plus, is lesbian, gay, or engaging in same-sex relationship, if you don't report that, you actually face liable to 10 years imprisonment. So
Wait, wait.
it's a
No,
bill that
no,
actually, a
no.
law that actually is not a law, that actually encourages teaching on your neighbors, a father's teaching on their children, and just neighbors teaching, friends teaching, and anybody also who doesn't like you could as well just use that to say, oh, I'm suspecting they are. So just kick them off the house or something like that. So it's actually a very draconian law, one that in any decent society shouldn't have allowed to pass. But yeah, we don't live in a decent society or even in a decent world. But we keep on pointing those things out, and hopefully one day we will have that law overturned.
So wait, you just said that a landlord. has the right to report their
Yeah,
tenants
yeah.
if they suspect that they are of the LGBTQ orientation.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
that did you say that uh, the landlord could be liable to
yeah,
prosecution if they don't do that?
yeah. Yeah, that's part of the law. You are supposed to report when you suspect such things. You're supposed to report, which was one of the things we said during the when the bill was being proposed. When the bill was proposed, was still at the house, being debated. Those are the type of things we pointed out, but people were just turning blind eyes to it. You need you. That's 10 years. That is 10 years. That is a 10 year stipulation for breaking that. It is the same sex relationship. He said that it's 14 years. But if you advocate, don't report, or just kind of encourage, such when you know about such going on under your roof, you are also liable to 10 years imprisonment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, it's just so heartbreaking. And I think this is where you appreciate where
Mm-hmm.
you find yourself, right? And that's why people like myself and Yemisi cannot just decide, okay, because we are now atheists and we now live in the UK or the US or wherever, you live in a secular society. We
Yeah.
came from these parts and we know that we have this privilege. It's not enough to just sit down, fold our hands, and say, okay, let them deal with it, right? What about advocacy? What about standing up for people who can you imagine that in 2022, 23, sorry, we're now in 23, that there are still parts of Africa where um you can, if just for what we're doing here, this is we could be taken to jail, me and Yemisi, right?
Let me even read the part for you.
Okay.
If you look in the book,
In the
at
book,
the
what
end,
number?
I actually put in the bill itself. I did a copy of the bill,
I have not
that is
reached that.
there.
I have
So
not
if you
reached
look
that
at
part
it,
yet.
here's that same-sex marriage
Oh
prohibition
yeah.
bill 2011. And when you look at section 5,
Wait. What
yeah,
number, please?
go to page 147, the
Okay.
last page. So you go to section 5 there. Can you see that? Section 5, paragraph 3.
Oh my goodness.
Can you
Read
see
the entire
paragraph
bill.
3? Paragraph 3 says, any person or group of persons that witness, abet, and aids the solemnization of a same-sex marriage or civil man who abets or supports the registration operation of gay people, gay club, whatever, Nigeria commits an offense, and it shall be liable to conviction to a term of 10 years imprisonment. So we've asked them what exactly is a group of persons that witness, abet,
Mhm.
and aids it. So yeah, so if you're just a witness to that, yeah, you
Okay.
are liable to 10 years imprisonment. You don't have to be gay. The bill is not just criminalizing gay people alone or LGBT plus people alone, but if you're a witness or you abet, you know, LGBT
Okay.
plus same-sex relationship, you are.
Let me read this comment by Ishak. By
Mhm.
the way, Ishak is in Kaduna State. And you know what those parts of Nigeria that have the Sharia law. Can you
Mhm.
imagine Yemisi, can you imagine someone who is gay and they're caught in the act, say in Kaduna or Kano State or those parts? Can you imagine what will happen to them? If they're down south, I think they would even still be, I don't know, maybe they might still just overlook, they might still just let them pass. But can you imagine being gay and you're in Kano or Kaduna or those parts? What will happen to you?
It's
Hmm.
it's horrible, really, because when we look at our history, because when it's basically now people think, oh, being homophobic and all that is part of our culture, it's part of our religion. It never was. It never was. And what we have, like, religion is basically one of the problems that has entrenched this hate in our society. And like I always said, when the British came with their colonization and the and all their imported laws that they put in that constitution then. They gave us what we call the sodomy laws. And I always said, if your forefathers were it around, running around and, freely loving themselves, regardless of gender, there probably wouldn't have been a reason for them to come and impose sodomy laws. So they came,
Exactly.
and they were the ones who were like, they imported the sodomy law into our constitution, criminalizing same-sex relationship. And we kind of now abide that, bought into that, with their religion, with their everything, their constitution, their penal codes, and it became entrenched. And people just mistake that now for our culture. The same way people will mistake Christianity for our culture. Christianity is not your culture. Islam is not your
Christianity.
culture. But people will defend it with their lives and tell you it is their culture. So it's just, and when you look at the British society, it's a kind of very conservative society. Africans were very much, when it comes to sexual freedom and all that, very much free than the white counterparts. The women were free. I mean, when you look at pictures, those pictures of our great grandmothers and my grandma, even my mother in her youth, you see them in all these crop tops and mini skirts and all that in their native.
Yes.
What we were free, but compare that with pictures of women in European society, in Britain, compare that with pictures of in the 80s or early 90s. How were women dressed then? All tied up, head to toe, in all their it was a very conservative where women were covered up. And we didn't. We were free. Our grandmothers were free to walk around without all these constraints of everything being sexualized.
There are still cultures in Africa where the women are top. They don't wear anything.
We had sexual freedom. We had everything.
The men have little grass. What do you call these grassy thingies, right? That they have made into coverings.
It's not even just about the leaves. I mean, we had beautiful Ashoke and Kente and whatever that were cropped up. Well. And I was like, my grandfathers and grandfathers were rocking crop tops before it became something small for teenagers now. When you look at, just bring out the old pictures, we always see that mini skirt with the crop tops. That was what people were rocking then. And now that is the trend now, because that is their newfound freedom. But my great-grandmothers were already rocking that before religion came in, before Christianity came in and said, you've got to cover your body, you've got to cover this, you've got to cover that. And then you hear one African man jumping on comments on social media, oh, that is not Africa, cover your body. I was like, well, your great-grandmother's covering up and down before, so you should know what African is and what is not African. I'm not here to even say, like, vouch for a culture, because not everything about our life shouldn't necessarily be tied around culture. And I've always said, culture doesn't have to determine who I am. But at least if you are trying to quote culture, quote it the right way. Use it the right way. You can take the positive from it and be able to condemn what is wrong or what is not right and move on. Don't be tied to that. But don't ever use culture as a reason to impose a lifestyle on other people. So I don't want you using culture to impose the way I dress, on the way I do my hair, on the way I wear my makeup, or whether I have children or not, or whether I want to have children, or whether I have male child or female child, or whether I want to change my gender identity and identify as who I feel I am. Culture shouldn't actually come into that. But the thing is, human beings have been having those life experiences from time immemorial. Being bisexual is not something that just came from 10 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. It's time immemorial. So the thing is, if it has been there before, it started right from the cradle of civilization, right from the cradle of humanity. African land, where we have the oldest, most of the oldest, that is the cradle of humanity. It started there. Human beings are prone. We can. It is a natural thing. So it's not an imported culture, but it's just something that is natural where you have humans, and also we've got that also in some animals also. So homosexuality, bisexuality, whatever it is that people want to be, we shouldn't be criminalizing people for consenting acts, from consensual acts that doesn't harm anyone. whether in the name of culture, I don't even care whether culture accepted it before or not. But the thing is, can say yes, culture, it has been part of our culture, it has been part of humanity, our
Mm-hmm.
human race, before any white man or woman ever stepped foot on Africa. And I've always
Yeah.
said on my own, I identify as a bisexual. I didn't even know the word for it. But when I was
Mm.
growing up, but I already knew I was bisexual. It's just the same way when I became an atheist, I would say around when I was 17 years old, and I never
Can
met
you
an atheist.
imagine?
I didn't even know the word atheist.
No, you
Atheist.
know what? You know what, Yemisi? Don't you're going too fast. Just relax, relax, just relax. We will come to that, guys. Let me try and break down a little bit what we're trying to say here. Before Christianity and Islam came into Africa, into these parts where we are from, they had their own traditions, they had their own customs, right? These customs didn't impose, well, somewhat, right? If you were part of if you were an indigene of these parts, you of course were expected to live by the dictates. Yes, they did a lot more superstitious uh beliefs, right? Believing in deities like Ifa, Shango, there's loads of them. This was before the arrival of the Jesus industry and the industry of Allah. These ones, by the time they came, they've been very strategic in telling the African people that, look, you need to get rid of what belongs to you, because what you have is demonic, and what you have is not going to take you to this paradise, wherever the Muslims call it, I think it's Jannah. The Christians, they call it heaven, right? They deliberately tell the African person that, look, this is what you must do. You must eradicate, burn. There are still videos till today on YouTube where these missionaries are in the local, um, the villages in Africa, right, with their pictures, big images of the Jesus Christ character, and they're telling the people, say, look, you've got to take this guy in our photograph. He is the one that will save you. But these black, ugly deities you worship, you need to burn those, right? Those ones will not save you. And these people slowly, slowly, over a long period of time, what you find now is the African person does not recognize what was once local to them, what was once their traditions, what was once their customs. As far as they're concerned, Jesus has always been there from the get go, right? Because that's what's happened. They have completely wiped out these traditions, and Christianity has taken over. Islam has taken over, right? Different parts, depending on what part of Africa you go to, right? And now, the trouble with these religions is that they bring the religion, the ones who bring it, after they've checked out, because look, the colonial masters, after they've been, told enough is enough, we want freedom. They don't tell the African how to handle these religions and how to go about, uh um just, there are no, well, they've got that book that they call the Bible or the Quran, and that's about it. It doesn't answer the African man's problems. Somebody doesn't have water in the house to drink. The Bible ain't gonna answer that for you, right? But they tell you that all your answers, just find it in the book, and that's it. And so now what we have is the mess that these two religions have left the states in which, and unfortunately, why these religions are problematic, are toxic, and as far as I'm concerned, are a cancer to the African society. Laws are being formed from these religions. The LGBT, the criminalization of same-sex partnership in Nigeria was actually signed by a Christian president at the time, right? Am I right?
Yeah, that
Yemisi?
was good luck, Jonathan.
He was a Christian.
Yeah, of
And
course.
as far as he was concerned, his religion says it is not permissible to have gay people. Guys, whether you like it or not, you might think that Islam is the worst. Over in Africa, Christians are prepared to kill a gay person because your practices go against their books, go against the dictates of their beliefs. So just so you know, the kind of things that we're having to deal with, it's not enough for us to fold our hands and say, okay, I'm in the West Midlands, UK. Okay, so what has that got to do with me? When there are people right now as we speak, there's Mubarak Bala, 24 years in jail by a religion that was brought to Africa. Now, Barak sits in this jail 24 years by the laws that have been constituted by this religion. It's rather unfortunate. And so, yes, I know I went on a very long tirade there, but Yemisi, you identify as an atheist,
Yeah.
and you became an atheist at the age of 17 in Nigeria. How
Yeah.
did you do that? And you didn't have anyone, so you didn't have YouTube videos, you didn't
No,
have
we didn't
books,
have internet.
you didn't have
We
anything.
didn't have internet then. I would just say I've always been a very curious person. Like I said, I've always like been. I wouldn't say it's possible to burn somebody as an activist, but that's always been like a passion of mine, like wanting equality in everything, and I question a lot. So yeah,
Mm,
I was born into a very Christian family, religious family, and I actually was a very staunch Christian then growing up because I believe everything I do, I was like, I still believe that whatever you do, be the best at it. And I
right.
will tell you, I was the best at my Christianity.
What denomination of Christianity were you?
I was very, very funny enough. I was a Celestial Church of Christ prophetess.
They say,
Nothing.
oh, you were a
I was a
prophet.
young prophetess.
Ah,
I could tell
Allah,
you,
Allah Jura.
it was really great that I went through that experience because when people tell me now, oh, you don't know what the Holy Spirit is or what, I said, do you want me to go into the Holy Spirit and start telling you your future? Because I can. Because I've been there, and I know the power that this belief, this delusion has over you. Even as a young person, I read my Bible voraciously. I wanted to like
Mm,
know everything. That's what I just learned that people say you have. I said I read my Bible from Genesis to Revelation. I must have read that about 2, 3 times, every single one
mm, mm,
growing
mm,
up because
mm,
I love reading and I wanted knowledge. And I was like, I'm a Christian. I was fine. I was also contesting the Bible quizzes and all that and winning Bible quizzes. So I was reading for that also. But then I started reading things and I was like, this actually doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right. So it
mm,
wasn't as if I went to read the Bible to find out the truth. And I thought it was the truth. But
mm,
then I think the activist in me, the young child in me that always was like wanting to be fair to everyone, started noticing that what I was reading was kind of them what was just demonic.
horrendous.
It was outrageous. It was just sadistic. It was very
Mm,
sadistic. I was reading and I started questioning. I was like, if this is God, I think I have better morals than the God in this book.
mm.
And I remember then it was during we had apartheid going on when I was young then in South Africa,
In
and that
South
was my
Africa.
first exposure to race inequality and all that. And I remember even as a child in primary school, then they will we have people come to our school and say, oh, give money to help fight apartheid in South Africa. I was a young child, but then that kind of echoed so much with me that I would lie down there thinking about people who aren't equal, that why are human beings like this? So it kind of like broke my heart, and it made a very big impact on me. And then in Nigeria, then we also had the military rule. It was the military rule that we had there, and we were talking about
Abacha.
and all.
Was it Abacha's rule?
Yeah, that was even, I think that was, it wasn't even Abacha. Abacha was when I was in my late 20s. And
Obasanjo? Was it Obasanjo?
That was the War Against Discipline, where they were beating people on the street. That was even Buhari Diago regime. That was Buhari Diago regime. Yeah, I'm talking about.
That was a long time ago. Wow.
Because then I would realize that there will be beating people on the street with canes. Because they wanted to enforce discipline. Even as a child, I knew that was wrong. And even in my debating society, then in secondary school, I just remember that I was always
hold on. Let me.
My literary and debating society, and some of the topics I talked about then and debated on was about corporal punishment. Should we be using cane, and should we be hitting people and all that? So even at a young age, I was very, very much attuned to all that. I did a blog post, I think a few years ago, about using is discipline African, is caning and beating your children African, is it discipline? I did a blog post on that, all my blog posts. But that was something that struck with me right from when I was very young. And then I started reading the Bible, and then there were all those instances of injustice, unfairness, sadism. Just like there was that page that actually struck me, and that was the story of where God and Pharaoh actually, when they said God asked Moses to go to Pharaoh to free his people. And then in that same page, I remember reading that over and over again, and it said, God hardened
Pharaoh's heart. Yes.
He said God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Then he would send Moses to go and ask him to release his people. But what Pharaoh will say no. And because of that, he killed firstborn. He sent all sorts of plagues over the people. Many people died.
Let me tell you.
Thinking about that as being a military dictatorship.
Right.
I was like, this is a military man. A dictator who has actually tied, like I was sitting down, a dictator asked me to sit down, tied my hands, and then asked me to pick up a pen and said, if I don't pick up that pen, they're going to kill my child, they're going to kill my neighbor's child, they're going to wipe up the whole community. But the truth is, I can't. It's physically impossible for me to pick up that pen due to the action of this same dictator who wants to wipe up the whole community, who wants to kill. And I think that was my equivalent at that time was just like, this is a military dictatorship. This God is like a military dictator who actually is being very unreasonable, very unfair, very sadistic.
You couldn't question this God, though.
That thing. I think that was the point for me.
Him. But you were not to question God, though.
That all the things, the people that died, although now I know. Believe me, when I was questioning that, I was like, this is so sad. How could this happen? I thought it was real that it happened. So it was, for me, that even made it worse. It broke my heart that you could kill. Because remember, I was just like this budding activist, always wanting for equality and fairness and wanting a better world for us. And then this is the God you're supposed to believe in, perpetrating the same thing you are actually condemning in this same society that we live in now. And I was like, no, this can't be right. This God, I don't think I agree with this. And then I started reading widely. I remember then I started reading, we had then in Nigeria, we had the vendors who will come to your house early in the morning to drop the newspapers. You buy the newspapers. And I was a voracious reader, and I would ask my dad, my parents, they would buy me all sorts of newspapers, the Punch, the Vanguard, or whatever. But then there are also like tracts, like
Jehovah's Witness
or whatever, and I read up on Ikenka, that's what it's called, Ikenka. I read on Jehovah's Witnesses and the pamphlets. So I started collecting religious books. I wanted to know what are other people saying. I read all the kinds of religion I could lay my hands on as a child, as a teenager. Then I started reading widely, and then it just didn't add up. Then after reading this, you read about this person's point of view, that person's point of view about what the best way to get you, whether there's paradise on earth, whether the paradise is in heaven. And I remember even looking at the Jehovah Witnesses that I was like, why are they always white children playing in the field? Why are they white children playing in the field? You know, it's just so. At that point, I realized, no, I think I started realizing that something was up. Then I started calling myself a free thinker because I didn't have any name for it. I didn't have anybody to actually discuss this with. But I remember, because I'm kind of like, if something bothers me, you know it's bothering me. And I announced to my family I'm a free thinker now. So, and they were like, I remember my mom saying, not under my house. Don't say that I know God under my house. And I was like, are you afraid that God will come down and struck your house under fire? Is your God that intimidated? You know, my poor mom, she really was like, she didn't just understand what was going on with me. My family didn't. But yeah, I was even in that confusion. I accepted myself as a free thinker, and I dropped, going to church, nothing. I started like inquiring and questioning, because I wasn't just a quiet free thinker. I started questioning, and at that time I became I was labeled as a witch.
Oh my goodness! Oh no 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 no
A young
no!
prophetess that was like, people were like, oh, because I was very vocal. If I preach the word of God, I will gather children around me and I'll be quoting Bible, I will be thinking until I was like, no, this is not right. And I was also vocal about it not right. And then they labeled me as a witch. And I know I've been in the Celestial Church, and I remember being taken to the beach.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Let me slow you down, because the pace at which you are going.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're going. No, don't be sorry at all. Because I need to try and, you're saying quite a lot of very important things, and I don't want us to miss out on them at all.
Mm-hmm.
So you have just described for us how you were a young person in Nigeria. You didn't have the luxury of the internet. You did not have the luxury of YouTube videos, of having international debates, right? What I had, you didn't have. But somehow you figured this out, right? I was told recently that you cannot be an African and be an atheist, that it is impossible, that it is intrinsic. The God belief is intrinsic in the African, to the African person, and atheism is a foreign concept. That's what I was told recently. And so you have just thrown that out to you. You just, you've proved that completely wrong, right? And that's what I'm trying to get at, is whether you like it or not, people will figure this out.
Yeah.
People will figure this out. However, somehow they will figure this out, right? And someone said to me, oh, but why choose atheism though? As an African, can't you go back to the religion of your forefathers? So I asked the person, okay, so what was the religion of my forefathers? No, you want me to go back to the religion of my forefathers. So tell me, which one was the religion of my forefathers? And they couldn't tell me. I said, okay, I know you won't be able to answer that question, but are you telling me that among all my forefathers, there wouldn't have been one or two free thinkers, agnostics, atheists? I said, I think I would like to give my forefathers a bit of credit. They haven't raised this person, right? I am sure there were some of them that existed. And so don't even just, don't just rubbish our forefathers, who you call forefathers, So to hear you say this actually gives me a lot of hope for the young people in
I'm sure.
Nigeria.
Look, what I always say is, if you've got a brain, you can't figure it out. And humans are brains. So I have forefathers who were atheists, who were free thinkers, who were agnostics. It's been there for ages. I figured it out. Many would have figured it out. That maybe have constraints of culture, or the fact that we don't write things down. And also the fact that even when you talk about religion and all that, Africa and Nigeria is not a monolithic society. we have so many different, we are not monolithic, we have so many different religions and beliefs,
Religions.
and some of those religions too weren't about a particular one God. It's about whether we have deities and all. So it has its own different aspects,
Deism.
and
Deism.
people must have their own thoughts around that too. Like I said, I figured it out without, without thinking that, without even knowing what the word atheist. I remember when I had the word atheism very long to my 30s. Then I couldn't even know pronounce the word atheist. I was like atheist, and I
Yes,
was
yes.
like, and
A
people
lot of
you know,
Nigerians call it atheist.
and I
That's what
remember
they call it.
somebody coming on my blog
Atheist.
then, who wanted to feel superior. And because I have a YouTube channel, and I set
Yes,
up a YouTube channel then,
I put the link in the chat.
talking a lot about religion and and homosexuality and why I'm an atheist and all that. And I remember somebody coming there and saying, hey, it's called artist, it's not called artist, it's atheist. And I said, then that tell you that I should tell you that I read widely, because then some of us don't speak this, but when we read this, we may not know how to pronounce it, but that doesn't take away from what I'm trying to convey to you. So your sense of superiority shouldn't come into that. You should be grateful I'm able speaking the language anyway. But the thing is, I figured that out, and I'm sure many people had in the past. It's no big deal. It's how you approach it that matters. What you do with it that matters. So yes, I became an artist. It's also the same thing they say about, remember about homosexuality, that you cannot, that homosexuality or bisexuality was imported. Remember that,
Yes.
I will tell you that I knew from when I was in my secondary school, my first crush was on my female teacher. I remember that was on my
You
teacher.
were busy crushing on your teeth.
I didn't even know the word bisexuality.
I hope you didn't. I hope you didn't go and tell the teacher anything. I hope you.
So, you know what? I was like, look, I just thought, oh, because I love
Wait,
literature,
let
I
me
love
see. Let me see.
reading,
Let
and
me see.
she's a
Hold on.
beautiful
Let me
woman.
see.
And
Let me
I
see. Hold
look
on.
forward, always look forward to her coming into the class.
Wait. Let me see. Let me
Gosh.
see. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Because you're going so quick for me, guys. Guys. So Yemisi's case is quite unique because Yemisi figured things out on her own as a young person. And can you imagine in Nigeria being the age of 15, 16, 17, and you have these feelings and you're not sure how to express them? You're not sure, in a time when girls are discovering boys are discovering girls. And here you are crushing on girls, right? And you're not able to describe what this feeling is like. You can't even, how do you tell that to your friend next to you? How do you tell that? They would not understand it. And here you have Yemisi as a young child, right? Crushing on her female teacher.
For me, I think I always think that feelings are natural, and you don't need to have. I've never read any book about lesbians or gays or anything before I knew I had that feelings. Even for I remember then, even I am a second child, and my sister, the eldest child, she had this friend that I also liked. And I would be like, can I go and visit your friend? Can I go? And she was like, go to what? I would follow her to her friend's house. But I liked her. She was pretty and all that. And I
Oh,
would
yeah?
just be like, So for me, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I didn't think I was diabolic in any way, because I kind of like think I was lucky in myself that I have a strong belief in myself. And I always like, if I'm not harming anyone, you can tell me I'm evil. And that was even when they labeled me a witch, and was like, oh,
We will,
parents, so like
we
they had
will, we
paid
will talk
for
about.
them to take me to the beach, and then you had all these pamphlets where they're praying for
Hang
you
on,
and trying
hang
to
on.
beat the
Let me
witch
see.
out
Let
of
me
me.
see. Let me see. Hang on. Hang on. Don't talk about that witch story just yet, because we will get into that story.
Okay.
Guys, you really need to hear this story of Yemisi being labeled a witch. I've been labeled a witch as well, but thankfully, I was in the UK when I was labeled a witch by my ex's family. But in Yemisi's case, she wasn't so lucky. But before we get into that story, let me do something very quickly. So let me see if you want to have a little drink or something, whatever, just because now I'm going over to your YouTube channel. You know, I've been busy on that channel. I've been, just give me a second. Let me um okay, here we go. Okay, this is Yemisi. Right, here we go. Right. So let me show you. So Yemisi has actually been on several shows. She has been on several events. But over the last few years, it looks like you have given the activism side of you has just gone
Yeah,
to, it's like you've
I paid my
given that
dues.
up
That's what
a
I call
little
it.
bit.
I said
Yeah,
I
I
paid my
know.
dues. I started early, so I paid my dues. I'm allowed to retire. Not retire, but I'm allowed to like other people take up the case now.
Right.
Everything I've got to say, I've said already.
Okay, but let's. I'm going to have a quick look at just some of your work, what you have done previously. Okay, here we go.
That is why this is harmful practices, and that's why you have pastors in churches beating up children, slapping. There was a case of the very popular pastor Yedeko who I did a video on, who slapped a young girl in the church. I mean, that is not really, it's not as if it's an extraordinary thing. It's not abnormal to bring out children and start beating them up in front of congregation. But this was actually filmed. And what struck me was this is one of the most richest pastors in Africa, if not in the world.
He is the
He's got about
richest in
many
Africa.
private jets, many universities, private universities, and he's one of the richest. And you have him surrounded. I was watching the video, and he was surrounded by bodyguards. He has bodyguards in this, and the congregation have thousands and thousands of people in this big church. And he asked people, with some children to kneel down, and they were like, oh, they were wishes. And he was asking this girl who wasn't more than 13 years old, who actually happened to be an orphan. I was saying the people she was living with had brought her there to confess that to cast away whatever demon was in her. And she said, look, she was living in front of this very respected pastor. And she told him, the pastor said, you have a wish. This girl said, well, I am a wish, but I'm a wish for Jesus. And then he was like, he just slapped her. And what do you mean? You have a demon? The girl, who was quite very brave of her, because very few people could actually look that man in the face and challenge him. She was on her knees, and this was a man surrounded by bodyguards beating up a girl. And what really got to me was the way all the people, the adults, they were clapping for the pastor. This man was slapping this girl. You are a witch. No, I'm not a witch. I'm a witch for Jesus. And he was slapping and beating you are going to go to hell. And everything was filmed and on YouTube. And but the people, the congregation were just clapping for him. I was like, God, this is child abuse. Those are the same people that will go on their Facebook page and be talking against child abuse, domestic violence. What do you think your pastor was doing? And that is the extent of religious indulgence. The way you give religion power over so many things in our society that I'm not.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly show the video that Yemisi is talking about right here. So this happened years ago, and this is the richest pastor in Africa. This man, he is in his church. It's a huge congregation. Of course, he has a lot of followers, and he's got bodyguards surrounding him. He's praying for young children. One of the girls, he says to this young girl, you are a witch. And the girl is looking like, okay, okay, all right, I'm a witch for Jesus. And he slaps her. She was really, really young. Let's have a quick look here. I don't know if you can hear anything. Let's see. Where's the volume?
My own which is Jesus.
You may not be able to hear it clearly.
In the name of, you've been there for how long?
I'm not a witch. I'm a witch for Jesus.
You are what?
I'm my own witch. Jesus. I don't use
You are a foul devil. Do you know who you are talking to? Thou devil, 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 devil. Where are you from?
I'm from Imo State.
When did you join which one?
I'm not a witch,
Who are you?
but I'm witch for Jesus.
Jesus has no witches. You are a devil. You are not set for deliverance, and you are free to go to hell. When did you get in there?
I'm not a witch, but I used to dream that I was with them.
The young girl was trying to explain that she's not a witch. But here she is, surrounded by these men, and this man is calling her a witch. She says, I am a witch for Jesus. And he's offended that Jesus has no witches. And he says to her, you are not set for deliverance. I hereby condemn you to hell. So let me ask, Yemisi, please tell us what happened to this man after he did this? Did he get any?
No, you know what? Everybody in that church, not just that I was culpable of that, they were part of that abuse that happened to that girl. And that was when I made that video. That's basically, I think, my most viewed video on YouTube. And I remember the many courses that I received. Even they gave me one was like in 2 weeks time you will have cancer, you will have this. How can you talk about the anointed? You know, for me, why that really struck in my heart was that vulnerability of that girl. It reminded me of me at her age, me being accused too as a witch and being beaten up and in the name of prayer. But yeah, you are in this modern day. That wasn't like too long ago. That was some years ago, but that wasn't too long. This people are now talking about domestic violence. We're talking about child abuse more openly. And you see this happening, but in the name of religion, because it's done by a pastor, everybody just is normal. They've normalized abuse under the name of religion. This girl, what also pained my heart was that this girl actually was an orphan. She was an orphan because I remember trying to follow up her case to contact lawyers to actually take up her case, because I made it that I said we need to slap some sense into Bishop Oyedeko himself. That was
we still need to slap some sense into him.
Yeah, that was one title of my video, and we're trying to get a lawyer to actually take up that case for the girl and prosecute it as a child abuse case. And my point was that girl actually was an orphan. She's been taken up from the village to go and stay with her family relatives. And you know, as they do in Nigeria, when you are from the village, they are always sure that you must have evil spirits, because they have the colonialism and everything, that the mental slavery that still borders, that's still embedded in our brain, in our, they just feel anything village is evil, because then they still believe, you practice, you have shrines there, you must be witches. And it's also about class, because they believe people in the village aren't that wealthy. So if you are poor, you are likely to be a witch. That's the way they see things down there. So you are poor, often you probably killed your parents. So that's all that mentality. So this poor girl has come to stay with relatives, and then they were like, we better take her to church so that they will deliver us from all the evil spirit before she brings her evil spirit. You've already marked the child. This vulnerable child, you've already marked her. And then you take her to this very popular, very powerful man who condemned her openly in front of everybody, with the adults clapping and cheering on the pastor. What do you think would happen to this girl going back to that house? No father, no mother, back to her relatives, where she has actually been publicly condemned by the most powerful pastor they have. Do you think they will welcome her with open hands? How do you think they will treat her?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
How do they treat her as a human being? So I just kept thinking, God, life couldn't have been easy for that small child. Just a child. But that's the power of religion. And that was what I was trying to point out there in my video, that this is abuse. Do you even know what will happen? And if the pastor wants to fight demons, why can't he just call out the demons and be doing boxing with the demons rather than beating the child?
Exactly. Then slapping her.
Somebody call out the demons now and be fighting the demons. Why are you beating the child? You know,
Okay, let's what I've done. I've pulled out the video from your channel, and it is titled "Slap Some Sense into Bishop David Oyedepo." So,
yeah, you should see the comment on there.
please do me a favor. I've put the link to Yemisi's channel. She has stopped doing videos. She has stopped with the activism. I get it.
I'm
She's now
not stopped. I'm not
she's now a
stopped.
civil servant. Maybe when more and
I'm
more
not
people
stopped. No, no,
subscribe to her.
let's get this straight first. I have not
Okay, I know
stopped.
you still do your
It's
blog.
not, I do, even in my job, I'm a race equality officer. What
Right.
I do now, I talk a lot, is trying to make the civil service where I work an anti-racist organization. That itself is a bold form of activism when you're talking about civil service. So that is actually my
You're
day
correct.
job.
You're
Doing
correct.
workshops, doing seminars, using the
Right.
words that people don't want to use or hear, like the word white privilege and all that. So yes, I think that there is a stage for everything.
That's right.
And there is a time for everything. There is no stagnation. Sometimes you move on to other things because there are other battles to be fought. But
That's
then
right.
you know that you have trained other people, or you've left in your wake materials that people can use, others that are coming behind can also use to further the cause. So the fact that I may not be like talking so much about religion. I know as a civil servant, there is a limit to what I can talk about when it comes to religion.
Online, yes.
I can't say as much as both as I've been talking before, but I'm also happy that when I wasn't a civil servant, I already had a body of work behind that people can use. I've written on all this I wanted to say about religion. You asked me this to talk about that, say, oh, I've written a blog post on that. I've written a blog post on that. So I think my work itself is a living testament of activism. So I may not be like sitting down doing videos
right
all
now.
the time on that. I have done the videos that needed to be done from my own perspective, and I think since they are still there, they still speak for me. So in my line of work, I'm still an activist. I'm still a very much anti-LGBT plus advocate. I am, like I said, I'm a trade union organizer, and so I'm still like on the strike line, doing the supporting strikers, doing all that. So our activities may just differ at this time. But it is, I think, what's an activist, always an activist. So my daily job is actually as an activist, trying to make the civil service an anti-racist organization. So yeah, LGBT plus right, I'm still very much active. My anti-racism, I'm still much, and I always tell people that if I'm an anti-racist equality officer now, a race equality officer. But the thing was, when I was growing up in Nigeria and doing all that activism as a feminist, talking about sexism and all that, racism was not on my agenda. It wasn't on my agenda because, and this line I always use, and people always question me, I said, I came to the UK in my 30s. I didn't know I was Black until I came to the UK.
Wow.
It wasn't that I didn't know my skin was Black or anything, but I didn't know the implication of being a Black person until I came to the UK. And in my second week coming to the UK, I almost lost my life because of racism of a doctor who wouldn't give me my prescription because as far as it was concerned, the medical certificate I have from Nigeria is not worthy. It's useless because it was from a Nigerian university teaching hospital. That is racist. And I still use that as an example. When I talk at work now, talk about racism to people, I said racism, as far as I'm concerned, is not just about because I was asked a question sometime when I was doing a workshop and said, and somebody, I'm a civil servant, a big top executive, and they asked the question, oh, how do we, a white man, he said, how do we educate the homeless poor man on the street not to be racist? And I said, let me be honest with you, I am less concerned about the racism of the white homeless man on the street than the racism of the top executive who sits on an interview panel. The racism of a doctor, a white doctor, the racism of a white lawyer is more powerful and more impactful to my life than the racism of an homeless white man on the street. Because a homeless white man actually who calls me the N-word or whatever, I will still have people who can maybe stand up for me and that who will condemn that, oh, don't use the N-word, that is wrong, because I've had people actually stood up for me, like in places like Tesco, when somebody used the N-word there. And I had other people, white people, say, no, that is wrong. But the racism I was concerned about was the one that almost took my life, is that racism covered by professionalism by
The
professionalism.
doctor.
It was
Hmm.
the one where you sit in front of
Institutionalized racism.
yes, when you sit in front of an all-white panel, interview panel, and before they even conclude before you conclude the interview, your accent alone, your name, your hairstyle,
Mm.
you already know that they are not giving you the job,
Good
that you
job.
aren't getting that
Okay.
promotion. You don't fit, your face don't fit. And the racism of the doctor who saw my university certificate medication prescription paper and just looked at it like a piece of trash, threw it and said, "Oh,
Mm.
I don't believe you've got this. I don't believe you've got this condition, therefore I'm not going to honor that." And yes, 2 weeks time, I almost died because I couldn't get my medication. And that was pure racism. That was because, as far as he was concerned, then I was this new student who's come to UK and who's come to prey on the NHS and suck the NHS dry. You know,
Mhm.
the immigrant narrative and all that. And he
Yes.
did that and he almost cost me my life. Because I
I'm
once
so
had a seizure
sorry.
that broke, where I ended up breaking my hand. And then I remember when I was now telling another doctor about it, and they were like, "No, you don't mean the doctor said that to you." Well, doctor did, and he got away with it because I was new in the UK. Now he did, if that had been done to me now, God, I would be suing them from head to
Absolutely.
head. But then I was just 2 weeks into the UK. They didn't know, and
I mean, you
that
wouldn't know, would you? You wouldn't know.
was
You
the
know
impact
what?
of racism then. And that was when I started realizing, my struggles, my activism started changing direction. Racism now
Right.
became a
I
victim.
see.
Racism
I
now became a
see.
victim that I was seeing in every way, in job interviews, in schools, in that I started the fight that I wasn't fighting before. It was like gender activism, LGBT rights. Then racism became the thing. I've been
Oh
thrown into
wow.
this piece of society, and I could now realize and feel direct impact of being a black person in a white society. And I realized that I've got a new struggle that I need
Mm.
to talk about
You
and that I
know,
need to
you know,
pick up,
you know what I,
that I
you
need
know
to
what I
address.
like. You know what I like about you is that you you don't just see a problem and walk away from it. You see a problem and think, what can I do? Right now, I know that you have your the things that you look at and think, oh, I may not be able to do it, right? Your hang-ups. Oh, could it be my accent? Could it be my, because you just said you had a seizure, so I'm guessing that you, maybe it's a medical condition going
Yeah.
on there, you know. But you don't let that stop you. You don't let that say, oh, because I've got this and because I've got that. Oh, who will be able to hear me? I'm fresh from Nigeria. How will anyone hear? Because let me tell you, I speak like this. I've been at work, right? Speaking like this. I was at work one time when my she was my supervisor, and I was telling her something, and she said to me, "I don't understand a word of what you're saying." Said you're I don't understand your accent. She went to get somebody else to come and translate what I was saying to her. And I knew she could understand because we had had conversations. But for some reason that day, she just, I don't know whether she woke up on the wrong side of the bed or whatever it was, right? I honestly do not know. But listen, who is perfect? Who is perfect? If you think, oh, because you speak like you're American, oh, you speak like you're British, you speak like you're up, up your nose. Listen, there are people, irrespective of how you speak, irrespective of whatever condition, whatever uh, um, is in the way, they still rise above that and do something. And for that, yeah, me see, honestly, I 100% appreciate you. But before I
Thank
let you carry on, I need to play just 2 minutes of that video, and then we will get into the story of you being
Okay.
labeled a witch. Okay, here we go. Where is it now? Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. So this was how many years ago was this?
On behalf of so many other sisters out there, on behalf of the vulnerable children in Nigeria,
Mm,
who every day are being slapped in the name of Jesus, who
mm,
every
mm.
day are being
Slapped
tortured
in the name
in
of
the name
Jesus.
of Jesus. while their parents watch and sing praises of the pastors torturing them. I am so angry. I really, really want to slap some sense into so many Nigerians. I really want to slap some sense into a particular pastor who calls himself Bishop Oyedepo. The man that asks, "Don't you know who I am?" I guess by now we all know who he is. Yes, the witch slapping child molester, Bishop Oyedepo. Some of us have seen the video of him slapping a young girl while his congregation members and was actually clapping
Can you
for him
imagine?
for
Right.
slapping
So
a
you say
defenseless
we should look
teenager, a
at the
defenseless
comments,
individual
yeah?
who was
So I'm curious. Let's go and see what some of the, oh my goodness, it's got 92,000 views. This was 11 years ago. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I'm curious to see what the comments were. Let's see.
Yeah, people can check that
Mm,
out. The people were like,
says,
don't talk
thumbs
about
up for speaking up in favor of the voiceless. She deserves praise. Yes, you are right. You're liable for making mistakes. Go girl, tell it as it is. I'm with you 100%. I'm so impressed with your comments. You desire God's blessings. Blessed is he who does not offend God by using her carnal mind in analyzing issues of the spirit. Hmm. Um, I wish there were more Nigerians like Sexy Yemi. Nigeria would be a better place. This was 10 years ago. Stay blessed, my sister. Um, let's see. Oh, this one says, you are right. The bishop made a mistake, just as the apostle Peter. Oh, here we go. Just as the apostle Peter once made a mistake and was rebuked by apostle Paul. No one is above mistake, and our dear bishop has made one. We should all pray for our dear bishop and also for that young woman he slapped. Our God is merciful and will not allow the devil to use this to destroy the ministry of the bishop because he has done much for the body of Christ. Can you imagine? We're saying, oh, our abusers, abusive pastors. Oh, it's only a mistake. Yeah, let them just go ahead and go and abuse another day. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Um,
yeah.
all decent Nigerians should come together to get David Oyedepo prosecuted for this assault. Right. Okay. So, let me see. You really have a long. It's a lot of work that you have done, and so now I really want to hear about the. You were labeled a witch. Can you
Let's.
tell
I
us
mean,
a little bit
that's
about that?
like I said, I was labeled a witch. I was taken to the beach a few times to have pastors, and the people. What I've learned even there was that people don't like confrontation. People don't like you challenging them. Adults don't like it, and it's something that still is kind of prevalent in our society, and I still see it now. Like if you're then it was just me as a child challenging or pastors, telling them I don't believe there is a God and all that, and even my parents were confused about that, and they felt it was okay to take me to for them to take me to the beach and have the wish of whatever demon beaten out of me. But they thought they were doing it out of love, but it wasn't.
No,
It
no.
was just fear. And
Yeah, yeah, me see. I'm going to interrupt, honestly. I am really going to interrupt you here. And I apologize because I'm going to need you to do something for me. I need you to explain to us why were you taken to the beach and what happened at the beach.
no, it's because yeah,
I have a clue what that's about,
it's
but
for the
I would like
celestial
for you
church.
to tell
Yeah,
the
for the
people.
white garment church, for the celestial church, cherubim and seraphim, and all that, they have a belief that the beach, like this supernatural power, the beach. I always tell people that, yeah, you have associate beach with picnics and all that. We are growing up associated with something like divinity, and it doesn't hold good memories for me in that
Spirits.
sense. because then when you want to pray, you believe that the power of the beach is like there is this superior being that's bringing the waves in and taking the waves out, and so it's seen as a powerful spot. So that was why the beach they see it as a powerful spot where prayers are answered, where you can command the beach to open up and all. So it's seen as a PowerPoint place. So when they take you to the beach, they can say, oh, for like if you've got difficult things or difficult problems, or so you go to the beach to get the power of the waves or whatever to cast it away. So there is things you can ask, is God more powerful near the beach? Is it not, you just wonder.
The God of the beach.
Maybe the Wi-Fi of God. It's more connected.
It's stronger by the beach. But Yemisi, now it's interesting you would say that's the celestial church of God. That's what they believe, that the beach has powers, right? Whatever is controlling the beach, whatever can keep the beach at the beach, that the beach has not come and consumed us. The beach stays there somehow, right? However, as powerful as it is, there's something controlling it, and whatever is the one controlling it, they believe that it can wash away their sins, it can wash away their troubles, it can do and undo. So they go to the beach with all their problems and go and wash themselves. They do all the incantations they do. But then there's still some other people that believe that the beach has evil spirits inside it, the Mami waters, right? The Mami water.
The Mami waters, the mermaid, it's things people have different views of whether it be the moon or the stars. They say what we don't know, what we can't explain, we kind of like ascribe meanings to it. People will ascribe meaning to the moon, they will ascribe meanings to the star, to the sea, to the ocean. So things we can't see deep down the ocean. If you dive now, if you have a submarine and all that, but then remember, it was an unknown dark place. And then we always have mythology surrounding what is under the water, what is deep down the water. It's from time immemorial. It's normal for people to be curious. It's when you pass out those opinions or folktales that with time it becomes religious, it becomes beliefs, it's not supernatural beliefs, and then people act on it. When you start acting on those beliefs to the detriment of other people, then it becomes a harmful belief. It's all okay when you're wondering and posturing and trying to see this is what is there and trying to think it. But when you now start asserting that what you've never seen, really, you start passing on folktales, supernatural myths and all that, and then use it to impact on the life of others. That's it's people have, some people may believe it's like some people can't eat cow because their religious belief says cow is divine. Some will eat it happily, some it may be pig. So even with animals, we have things like Africans will say you see a black cat is a witch or whatever.
Please don't mention the black cats.
Growing up, was made to believe that banana trees is where witches hang their old meetings at night. So you don't
by the banana trees.
So you don't plant banana trees in your compound. So when you plant banana trees, you are basically attracting witches to come and hold camp and meetings and workshops.
Listen, I'm going to plant 100 banana trees in my small garden. Let them come. Let the witches come.
And you know better, you do better, and start questioning those things. I'm sure there are people who are questioning those things now also. It's just like, don't stop there, question a lot of other things. And if people feel that from time immemorial, there's always that fear of the unknown, and then ascribing power to the unknown. But I've always said, not knowing how things are done or what's there, that's not to say then it's God, or this God that has done it, or that then ascribe a supernatural power to it. Science may not have all the answers to everything, but science has a lot of answers to many things, and it will still continue to have answers to many things. And I think for me, even though I was called a witch or whatever, I was still able to look them in the face and challenge their beliefs, and they realize that it's better for them to leave me alone, because I will look at you and like I will remember one that some of them will be, because in Celestial Church you're actually not supposed to drink. So to drink alcohol.
Oh, please,
So
no,
every Sunday
they
they will
drink
stand
after
there.
service.
Oh, the child of God or the child of Celestial does not drink alcohol. And then Wednesdays, Fridays, there's a beer parlor rack in front of my house, and they are sat there drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the headers, start there drinking, and the next day they wear their white
church elders.
So I keep all this. I have one person who's challenged. So I'll be like, what are you saying? Didn't I see you at that beer parlor? I was a young person. I was like, and the Lord, they just decided to leave me alone.
Right.
And my mom just like, okay, I've just accepted this is how she is different. And then there's also that thing where you are now labeled as the problem child. And when you are looked at as a different person,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you don't believe in yourself, you may start questioning, have you even got why are you different? Why are you the other one? Have you got a mental illness? Or is what makes you different? But for me, I think it's about reading widely, believing in yourself, and knowing who you are. And I think I was lucky that from a young age, even with that adversities and all that, I was able to, I was curious about human. If I hadn't been like, I wanted to be a lawyer because of the injustices and I focus on human rights law. But even then, I was like, I wanted to study human psychology. And when I look at the power relation, I've observed that power relation even up to my workplace, to where I am in life now. When you have just give human beings more power, above another, they will exact it. They will want to know that I am the one in control. For the adults, they try to exact it on the children. And even now in the society I am in, I see where a white, the white person still wants to assert a sort of control, social control over the black person, who they still see as not having the same level of power, economic power, social power, class power, race power. And even in the workplace, you see that when you are in your workplace and your manager is doing something and you challenge them, somebody who is above you in grade and whatever, they don't like it. So people somehow don't like being challenged, and then they turn on you. And it's the same thing. I challenge the pastors as a young child, they turned on me and try to scare people against me. Do it so in the workplace. Be a black woman or even a woman challenging a man in the workplace. You will see the way the power dynamic changes. So the exact power in that way. So it's been something that I've observed from my young age, that people in power don't like being challenged. And when you challenge them, they may want to turn the table. But the thing is, be steadfast in who you are. I mean, many things will people want to throw at you to make you feel inferior. The other time we were talking about accents. Let me tell you something. Look at one of the blog posts that I wrote.
Your accent.
Yeah, look at one of the blog posts I wrote. You were talking. It's not. Look, I wrote a blog post titled "Self-Hate." Your accent, criticizing your accent is about self-hate.
I'm going to put the link to your blog in the chat so people can go find it.
When I told you that I'm written on everything. So the issue of accent, when I first started my YouTube video and I started talking about religion and whatever, when your Christians couldn't find anything to attack me, your same Nigerians, the same Yorubas, they
will attack your accent.
Look at the way she's speaking like a bush person.
Oh no, come on now, your own people. Your own people.
There. If you check the YouTube, that was when I now wrote this. It was because I could see people try to silence you. People will try to silence you. They will try to take away your voice, and they will try to find something to make you feel inferior. And I had to turn it on them and say that you are from my place. So if there's people like it that will come to UK for one day, you go back to Nigeria and start speaking through your nose. What is
the name of, where can I find your the blog? I thought I had it here.
It's called Self-Hate. I will send you the link to it. It's in one of my.
Can you type? You see,
I can't see it now. I have to go into the blog post, look for it. But it's not.
Just tell me. I know.
Sorry. Self-hate on accent or something like that. Your accent is your accent is self-hate or something.
No, I mean the name of the actual where you write your blogs.
Oh, Yemisi. Yemmy. Okay, I can type that. It's Yemisi. So if you go on Yemisi, let me type that. No problem. Let me start that. Is it in comments or in chat? Let me start that in chat.
Not the comment. If you put it in the private chat, then I'll look for it.
Okay.
Put it in the private chat, and I will find it.
Okay, that's I put it there. So you can find this in some free thought blogs called Yemisi.
Yemisi.
I try. You also.
Okay, what happened? What happened? Where did she go? Where did Yemi go?
Sorry, did you leave there?
Eh?
I'm back now. Okay, it was like I pressed something. So one thing I've learned is people you cannot stop this. I'm also a socialist. I identify as a socialist, and in my left leaning, right from my left activism in that from when I was student union leader back in Nigeria and the National Association of Nigerian Students, I learned I owned my socialism, and I realized that you cannot substitute your consciousness for that of another. That is, I was lucky that I read widely the work of Karl Marx, Engels, and all that, and Rosa Luxemburg, and I realized one thing, that my station in life, the fact that I have been exposed to books, I have been exposed to, it means I cannot always like condemn people who are not at my level or who are not at that understanding of things. So I can always make allowance for that. So that's why I wrote a lot of things on people on things people just took for granted then. Like when you talk about accent, I have to tell you, this is about colonialism. What makes your accent inferior to that of the white person? Nothing. It's just your mental colonization. And I realized that I said there's nothing that will make me change my accent because it's part of who I am. Me trying to change it is just me saying that I am inferior.
Yemisi, hold on. Please do me please just pause for a minute, right? On the subject of accents, right? You talk about accents, right? Let me just read something, just a little bit about you from your blog. It says that Yemisi Ilesanmi is a Nigerian woman resident in the UK. She holds a Master's of Law, LLM, degree in gender, sexuality, and human rights. She is a trade unionist, a human rights activist, an author, a poet, and sometimes moonlights as a plus size model. She is a passionate campaigner for equal rights, social justice, and poverty alleviation. Her debut book, which I've got, Freedom to Love for All, Homosexuality is Not Un-African, is available on paperback. I've been putting the links to the book, to your Facebook, to your YouTube channel. I've been putting that there, and I think I've now put the link to your blog in there as well. Sometimes, so this is what Yemisi has done in the past life. Yemisi has been the national women's leader and assistant national secretary of the Nigerian Labour Party. She's been the vice president of the International Trade Union Congress, the chairperson of the ITUC Youth Committee, International Labour Conference, committee member on applications of standards, the founder and president of the National Association of Nigerian Female Students. She is the founder and coordinator of the campaign against Nigerian LGBTIs in the diaspora against anti-same sex laws. So wait, with your accent, Yemisi, look at what you have achieved. Anyone who says anything, who dares to say, oh, I can hear what she... Listen, don't even, I don't want to hear it. Some of you have not even achieved even a quarter of what this woman has achieved. And because of you, Yemisi, I mean, you see some people in the chat, and by the way, they say you're looking as good as hell.
Let me just tell you one thing now. One thing is, let me tell you a story. The first time I encountered this accent thing, I was 19 years old. My first national TV appearance, I was actually on the Dawn. And
Sorry.
Yeah,
Say that again. Say that.
my
I didn't
first
hear that.
national TV appearance. It was It was called the Dawn. I think it was the Dawn, or and that was it was a new
You've been on
feminist.
TV too.
Yeah, it was
Oh
a new
my.
feminist program then for women empowerment, national TV. So I was 19 years old. I'd been invited because then I was like my first activism was nationwide in Nigeria, in the sense that I confronted then. It was my second year in university. Yeah, I was 19, I was 19, 20, I was 20 because it was my second year, I was 20 years old, just 20 years old. And I confronted the vice president of the of Nigeria then. It was Admiral Igbe. It was the vice president, the
Oh,
military
I
president.
remember Aigbe.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was it became a national news because it was during the national Nigeria University Games in Lagos University, and I had a physical altercation with him because I was
No.
national student, and that was my first major activism. And they had like I told you, I was very much against military dictatorship. I was very much against it growing up as a child. And when I entered university, I became a student activist, a national student activist and leader. And that was my first major protest. And we had stopped our own national games because it was they were sacking, they suspended some of our student union leaders from school, and we were saying you need to reinstate them. And the National University Games was one of our protest grounds, but they blocked it with all military. You would think it was a military game, and that was the point. But like, this is a student game; we should have access to our own games. And I kind of, with other student union activists, kind of led the protest to break down the gates for us to be able to come in. And then I used to have this long braids. My hair was always in long braids then, so to so style then, and a patra style. And because they identified me as the one, leading the soldiers came for me. And I think
Wow.
Marwa was there, and I always give Marwa was the Lagos State president then, Lagos State governor, and he was a gentleman. I would say give that to him because he was seated beside Aigbe, and Aigbe lost his temper because I was like just saying that this is wrong, like right in their face with soldiers. And it became a physical altercation, and it was captured live because it was a live opening game. And it was in the news, and they had to like drag me by my head, dump me in the trailer, and and people were like, "Oh, this guy had a fight with the vice president on the national." It was national papers all night, all evening national papers, and it was shown on CNN. Like, and one thing I always like when I recollect that story, and I'll always be grateful for people like Chief Gani Fawayemi, because he didn't know me from Adams, he didn't know me anywhere. But he said he was in America when he watched that, and being a human rights fighter, he said he took the next flight to Nigeria. He didn't know me from Nigeria, but he said if this girl is alive to the next day, he will be surprised because he knew what the soldiers could do.
Because you were dealing with guys, Nigerian military. They do not have empathy. The Nigerian military and empathy.
People didn't know where I was.
No.
People didn't know where I was. I was put in the station anti-robbery squad. Then later I was transferred to Panty. But the thing was, the story had become a national story then. I was young. I was in the front of the papers with people dragging me by my hair. I was just like not giving up. I was still screaming at their faces and all that. So I was kind of very hot-headed activist at a very young age. And but the thing is, when I came out from there, Chief Gani Fawayemi became my lawyer. Father-in-law also came, who is also a good comrade now, but a very close comrade now. But then I didn't know them from Adams, but they came. And I remember coming to the court then and seeing the seas of Nigeria. It's like I used to joke that I actually used to be darling of Nigeria, and then they loved me there because then I was fighting for human rights and for talking about what concerned them, the hiking school fees and all that. And they came to support a mass at the court, and then the case was dismissed, and I was finally they were asked to produce me, and I was finally released, and there was this this huge crowd. Then I used to say that how did I go from being a Muslim activist to be so much hated by the same people? It's just because they just it was okay when you are fighting for economic freedom and all that, but then when I started talking about LGBT plus rights and then saying and all that, they were like, no, don't say that. and then they quickly turned against. But the thing is, that's another story. Like I said, I grow into my activism and I pick up whatever needed to be picked up at that particular time. But at that age, after I was left, people wanted to interview me. I remember I was now asked to come on the Dawn. I think it was the Dawn. It fooled me. Yeah, I was there. I was just like my first national interview. I said everything because that was a talking about human rights and all that. And I remember after the program, the presenter came to me and said, "Oh, you are such a raw diamond or whatever, and you have so much to say. But I have a finishing school, like a school that will help you with elocution and your accent and whatever." That was my first. I was 21. That's what I don't understand. People who talk about empowerment and how do you, like, what is wrong with the way you speak? What is wrong with your tongue? What is wrong with your accent? And they were offering me that to say, "Oh, you can actually do that. We can give you that. I'm happy to give you, like, I think maybe a reduction or something, or even for free for me to do that." And I looked at them, I was like, "Thank you very much. I'm very good as I am.
Yes.
I'm very good as I am. I don't need to be refined. And I don't need your," and that's when you believe that the measure of success or the measure of intelligence is by the way somebody pronounces words or their understanding of English. It is so wrong, especially when you are bringing down your own mother tongue. When you are bringing, I mean, I am here as a risk policy officer now. What I keep telling people, and which I would tell in my almost always all-white environment, is that English language is not a measurement of intelligence. It's not a measure of intelligence. You can't speak my language. Should I measure intelligence based on whether you can speak Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa? How will you feel if I'm measuring your intelligence? And also remember, I speak 2 languages. You probably just speak 1. So until you have that sense of pride in who you are and not try to measure your value based on what others have told you is worthy, they will use that to try to silence your voice. Oh, if I had told me then, if I had told as a growing activist, and I'm falling for the fact that they think somehow my accent or my elocution wasn't good enough, I could have been silenced. I could have been like, "Oh, I don't want to speak in public. Oh, I don't want people to laugh at me." So why some idiots now come on my page 20, 30 years later, "Oh, you've been in UK for how long now? See how you are still speaking." Like I said, look, you dishonor your ancestors. Your ancestors will be stoning you. They should be stoning you, turning in their graves to come and stone you. Because you are basically, it's mental slavery. The fact that we look down on everything black, we look down on our dances, we look down on our clothes, we look down on our forefathers' gods, we look down on the way everything that has to be black, we look down on our skin, we look down on everything that has to do with us. I remember one of those days, I was like, when they will want to pray for you in Jesus' name and whatever, just tell them that may Hogu be with you. The way
may what? Say that again.
Somebody was always like telling me, "Oh, Jesus bless you on your birthday." I know their own birthday. I said, "May Ogun and Shango be."
You know what they will say? They will say, "I reject it in Jesus' name." Back to sender.
You are revoking. Is it not your forefathers' God? What makes your present Jesus and whatever better than your forefathers' God? So it is not just religion. It is not just the God. It's the fact that they made us hate everything that made us who we are. That is the thing that's most painful to me. It is not
let me ask you.
It is the fact that anything associated with us, we hate with a passion. It is mental slavery.
Let me ask you, when did the entire world come together and agree that English was going to be the universal language?
Well, the same way I didn't agree for them to come and tell me, being straight is the thing that you have to.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I didn't go to conference to agree that being a man is the one that would make you the superior gender, or being no. I wasn't invited to that, and I'm not ready to abide by that. But the thing is, when we know better, we should do better. People don't want to question. So imagine adults then telling a young upcoming activist that our accent wasn't good enough. That they thought they were doing something good, but it was their own ignorance it was their own ignorance that they were not trying to portray that onto me. So I hope wherever they are now, because I still see that person that they have learned. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, in Africa, we tend to like measure superiority by the standards of white. You know,
Mm,
everything success, and it's part of the legacy of racism. You know,
yes.
it's part of the legacy of slavery, of
It's
racism.
still
And
a
when you say, oh,
huge
how do you
problem.
measure beauty? Beauty is about the standard of the white. How do you measure a beautiful woman, a white person? How do you measure success? A white successful white. Now everything white is successful. Why everything black is bad? So even
Mm,
that is something we have been inculcated in, and some of us are learning to unlearn those things we were taught. And so when I see people still bragging about, being able to not speak, not I remember even at work there was time when people will come and then you ask them, what is your name? You know very well they are Nigerian, and they start calling it in some English phoneme way. I remember telling one person that, so just your name is Mr. This and that, not this English name. And he was telling me, now. I said, no, you have to pronounce your name the way your parents gave you, the way with meaning. It don't anglicize it so that other people can be able to pronounce it. How many times have they anglicized their names for you to be able to pronounce, or localize it for you to be able to pronounce? You have to first have pride in who you are to demand pride from others, to demand respect from others. Have pride. Say your name with pride. Say your name the way it's supposed to be said. Then teach them how
yeah,
to say it. Tell them this is how you pronounce it. No,
yes.
it's like I said, it's all about power. As a woman, you are always like, where's the relation to women and men? You are like, as a woman, you are taught to make life more comfortable for the man. You're like,
Mm-hmm,
oh,
mm-hmm.
if you want to
Yeah, that's
go,
your
you have to
duty.
make you out good. You have to, even when you enter the public transport or you are sitting down, you as a
Yeah,
woman, you make space for the man to be able to sit, to make everything comfortable for him, not to challenge him. That was what, and it's also the same power relation with race too. You find the black person always wanting to make the white person comfortable. How do I make it comfortable for them to say my name easily? How do I make it comfortable
you,
for them to understand my culture? But the
yeah,
same is not reciprocated.
yeah, me see.
It's
Sorry to
a power
interrupt you.
balance.
Sorry to interrupt you. Did you see the video of that Nigerian? I think she was Nigerian. I'm not 100%. King Charles went to visit somewhere. I don't know where it
I know the
was.
video you are talking about. Unfortunately, as a
And
civil servant, I cannot comment on that.
okay, that's fine. I will comment. But I wouldn't say anything disparaging or anything. So King Charles goes to visit this particular place, and there's a mixture, multi national company. You can see the faces of the people there, and this African lady decides that, oh no, she's enamored, and she's got to show him the highest level of
Oh, okay,
respect,
I saw that.
and decides that she's going to be on her knees, right, to welcome the man. And boy,
I
people
saw
were
that
like,
video. Yeah.
slavery. This is slavery. This is, it's but before now, let me, someone sent me this, and thank you very much. You know yourself. Someone sent me something very important, which and we will soon, does any of you have any questions for Yemisi? We will soon be rounding this up. Um Someone sent me something, and I'm just gonna show it to you, Yemisi, and to everyone else. Let's see here. It's this one. Where is it here? Okay, so share this tab. Right, let me do this. Okay, so this is let me remove this. So this is, oh goodness. How do I get rid of this now? Uh, you know all these websites that want you to okay. So this is Edwin Chiloba, an LGBT activist, was found dead in Kenya. The police in Kenya, they're investigating the death of the young fashion designer, the LGBT activist Edwin Chiloba. His body was found and dumped in a metal box by the roadside. So they say this is in Kenya where gay sex is outlawed, and they have linked the killing to his sexuality. This happened just, I don't know when this happened, yesterday, day before yesterday. So this is still a huge problem over in the continent, right? This
Of course.
guy's death is being linked to his sexuality. And so it's still a huge problem. Now, there was a question in the chat. Phil said to ask Yemisi if she is aware of what happened to Ama Governor, the young bisexual lawyer in Ghana. This lady in Ghana who she's a blogger. She does different things on YouTube and different platforms. And I think she was about to be called to bar, right? I think about to for just because she identifies as LGBT. That's it. She has been denied um I think it's the final stage to becoming a lawyer, right? She has done all the training, she's done everything. Just the I think it's the final call to bar, something like that. I don't even know what exactly it is.
It
I'm
could
not
be, yeah.
that invested in that story. And they just for that reason alone, because she's LGBT, that's it. They have denied her. So right now there's a campaign. I've signed it. I've signed it on change.org. There's a campaign, highlighting the problems of this lady. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. They're
It's
trying
sad.
to sell
I think
us.
Ghana is trying to follow the case of Nigeria to have they have the sodomy law, but they're also trying to have the legal, just like the same-sex Nigerian bill that we had that was passed. Ghana also is in the process now of passing that same law, and it's all because it's not just Ghana. We had in Uganda, it's Cameroon also, following suit. So it's just the invasion of the evangelical priest that came in and started talking to our politicians, to our parliamentarians, to start enacting all those laws. So I'm not actually familiar with that case, but I wouldn't be surprised. But as a lawyer, it's something they can also challenge in the court of law. Because, but the thing is, we got to law to the bar. So I'm thinking that would be the call to bar, because the call to bar, one of the criteria is also about character. They can deny you a call to bar based on character. So now the
Mm-mm.
question now would be, what character has he not met? Is it a sexual orientation character to being a lesbian or gay person, or bisexual, or even a trans person? Does that in any way impede on your character? Does that mean you're not worthy? So I know there is a clause when you're called to bar, you can be denied based on character, but that of course has nothing to do with your sexual orientation or gender identity. That would have to be like if you have been caught stealing or something like that. So yes, I'm not familiar with that case, or something I would like to really look up. But I would say they will use anything to try to malign the LGBT plus community, to try to scare people and
It's
find,
really sad.
and that is part of it. It's horrible. So people have died. I've had comrades who have lost their lives fighting for causes, whether it be social justice or LGBT plus rights, with people who have been murdered, for their sexual
Mm.
orientation, gender identity, in Africa, in the Caribbean countries, everywhere. It happens everywhere, but it's
Mm.
more so in Africa because it's the way it's openly done and condoned in the name of religion, in the name of culture, in the name of whatever they want to call it. It's like openly embraced to be homophobic, to spew so much hate.
Hatred.
Yeah,
On
towards
your
people.
fellow on your
It's just
fellow people.
horrible. And
It is.
I think it's like I've always said, it's not, if we can find it in our heart to just look in there and ask some difficult questions, like why would your God or your religion, or whatever it is you believe in, wants
Your
you
book.
to beat up somebody or kill
Mm.
somebody or stop somebody from progressing because of who they sleep with in the privacy of their room or wherever it is? What is it of your business? And I remember when I came out openly, to fight when the bill was being passed. I went to the parliament. I traveled down from Nigeria, from UK to Nigeria. I appeared in the parliament. It was 3 times to speak against the bill. And when I come out there, because I formed the Nigerian LGBT plus in diaspora here. When I did a campaign where I had a calendar, I did a picture of calendars of LGBT plus Nigeria and UK here, all the placards. We protested in front of the Nigerian embassy, so took pictures of all that. So I put this in a sort of calendar, like talking about human rights, and I sent it to the parliamentarians, to the senators, with human rights LGBT logo, that we are Nigerians, stop turning us into refugees and all that. And I did a paper presentation. But when I come out, when after the thing, you will find the Anglicans, was mostly Anglicans, with their
Anglicans,
talking about wanting to stone me to death, and they will come with banners of whatever surrounding. They were stoning people. They were violent. And they were the Christians. They were violent. They whisked around the National Assembly, and when you come out, they will start stoning you and shouting at you, just when you're supposed to be your Christians. So people forget that the number of threat messages I received online daily because of that. People would describe the way they were going to chop my head off. And people would describe it in detail. Because some of my comments on YouTube under the homosexuality ones, the way they would chop my head off on Facebook, or the messages I received, it was just horrible. I was like, how people this because of your God? There's so much, the hatred they have in there. So the hate is just, it eats them alive. It must eat them alive. All over the world. Don't about who somebody else is love, who somebody else love, who somebody sleeps with, who somebody. They're not. I mean, it boggles my mind. But then at the same time, some people they're just empty vessels. They have nothing to give but hate. That is all they mean. They have nothing to do with the life. They have nothing to give. It's just hate. Hate makes their life, gives their life meaning. It gives them purpose in life. To kill for God, to kill for an imaginary being, to kill for people who doesn't, to kill for, I don't know, for people who don't look like them, for gods who don't look like them, for gods who don't speak like them, it boggles my mind really, because of everything I expect it to be anything, but like I say, a Black Christian, I will never understand a Black Christian who is an adult, who's a Black Christian. I will never understand.
No.
I don't understand really, because when you read it, the same Bible or whatever, it's the same thing that actually endorses your forefathers being slaves. The first slave ship that was brought here was named Jesus. The name of the ship was Jesus. That came to catch away your forefathers into a foreign land of slavery. And then the book they gave you talked about skin color and how it is okay to be slaves and how you should treat your slaves. And you still abide by that book.
And the book tells women
on the street just for them to be able to accept that Bible. They were tortured. Resisted, but they were tortured. And eventually it was a matter of survival. It started seeping in. Even if you look at how it was imposed on your forefathers.
Can you imagine the same book?
One shouting it. Even here in UK, where the young ones don't believe in, they're atheists now. Nobody talks about being religious. Majority are atheists.
Thankfully.
It's the opposite. But of course, you need religion to imprison the mind of people. And that's my people are imprisoned by religion. They are. And
there's a question for you in the chat, Yemisi. So Ishak, our Nigerian brother, all the way in Kaduna, says, has Yemisi read the Quran? If so, what is her favorite chapter?
I haven't read the Quran, but I have like snippets of it, because I can't read it in Arabic, so I haven't read the Quran, but I have snippets of it. And the thing is, it's all down to justice or injustice for me, or fairness. It's still the same Abrahamic God, isn't it? It's the same Abrahamic God, the God of Jacob, Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac. It's still the same God. And if you worship that God and you believe in that God, then you can't claim to be somebody who is social justice, who is for equality. You can't claim to be somebody who is for justice or fairness, because there wasn't any. And when you look at it, you have to ask yourself, people will tell you, oh, that was the Old Testament, it's not the New Testament. I was like, was your God not evolved when he was in the Old Testament?
He was the old God, and now he's the new God.
Was your God didn't know what was right and wrong? He didn't know his left from his right? Why do you call him God then? So will he, in the next 100 years, will he evolve again? Then he will evolve to accept homosexuality in Africa. Then even though he has evolved, you know that God has evolved now to accept homosexuality in part of Bricks now. But the Nigerian God is still like, snort. It's ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. Because when you look at it, you have to like hold your God or somebody that you believe in to a higher moral standard.
Exactly.
And that is
Be able to
totally lacking.
question this God.
It is lacking. It's somebody you hold in high regard, but it's somebody you respect, not somebody you fear. So unfortunately for many people, it's all about fear. And then some people say like, oh, I fear death. What if you die tomorrow? What will happen? You die, you fucking go back to, sorry for my language, you go back to
It's
the
okay,
doctor.
it's okay. You're allowed to do that. Yeah.
I always ask them, do you do good or do you try to do good in the process that you're trying to have paradise points? You know, like we have the Nectar cards and Tesco Club card and whatever. So if you do one good, you come and get paradise points.
Coupons.
That doesn't make you a decent human being, because basically you are doing a business transaction, you know. So it's just ridiculous. It's about fear. It's about the unknown, the fear of the unknown and all that, and then not being strong enough in yourself to question. I would say for me, the truth means a lot to me. I mean, I'd rather like know the truth than you feed me the fairy tale lies. I don't need fairy tale lies. You know, I don't need to be be drunk on lies for me to survive, or for me to let me know the truth. Let me feed me. Let me then deal with it how I want to deal with it. But unfortunately, this has been imbibed in our people, and they are not ready to get out of it because they're afraid to confront the unknown. But whatever the case, I'll say we keep on preaching. For me, I would like, I've written everything I need to write or say, whatever topic you talk about, because I used to be very much active and engaging people on social media. And I bring whatever their comments, I take it and I try to write a full blog post on it. And I'll definitely write my book on atheism. That's one book I need to write on atheism, and my story about my journey from the young age to where I am, and trying to make sense of it all. But the important thing is, for me, it's about trying to be a better human being. Because I will be the first person to tell you that being without God doesn't make you a better human being. The fact that there is no God doesn't make you a superior person, to be honest.
Absolutely not.
I've met a lot of awful haters too. I've met a lot of awful critics.
Absolutely.
It's not about whether you believe it. It's about what humanism do you have in you? How do you relate to your fellow human being, with or without a God? That is what matters to me. I don't give a damn whether you have a God or not. So far, you don't come preaching to me about your God. But once you come and bring your God into my space, then I will definitely criticize you. But we have a long way to go in Nigeria and all that. And you even hear doctors talking about, oh, it's God that did this, it's God that caused cancer, when you know very much it's a lie, But they sell all those things to people to make them feel that I'm the right doctor to come to because I am a Christian doctor. And then people will go to that doctor is a Christian. No, it sells business. Even the pastors and all that, I always tell people that I've engaged in discussions, a lot of heated debates with pastors before in Nigeria, and many of them know there is no God. They know. The thing is, they know, because look, even the priests here in the Catholic Church and whatever that abuse boys and abuse children, do you think if they really believe there's a God looking at them, they would do that?
No, of course not. Of course not.
They know. It keeps the illusion keeps them in power. The pastors that do all those, the ones that abuse women, that ask people to bring money, and that tell people that they will raise that prey on vulnerable people and say, oh, your sick relative will be healed if you give me this and you give me that, or I will even raise the debt for you if you give me that. Do you know that? They know they are scammers?
Of course, a lot of them know. It's just a money making scheme.
Money-making venture. If they have any respect for their God, would they even be able to carry out all those atrocities?
Absolutely not. No.
They know that their God is powerless. Their God is powerless. They can rape
imaginary.
They can abuse a child right in the altar. They can rape a woman right in the altar. They can fleece a church member dry to the bone, take all their account money right there in the altar, because they know they have a powerless God.
Mm.
That God doesn't exist.
Mm-mm.
So I said that the pastors themselves are the greatest atheists there is.
Yes, of course. I completely
Nothing
agree.
more.
We're
And
going to
when you to them, and they will try to use words to cover it, but the thing is, they're empty vessels. It makes money for them.
empty vessels make the most
They
noise,
make the most
doesn't
noise.
it? There you go.
They make the most
So
noise. So the
yeah,
thing is, yeah.
yeah, me see. We're gonna try and round this up. We've been going for over 2 hours,
Oh,
and
okay.
I know that if I bet we can carry on forever because this is a subject that you're very passionate about, and this is a subject that I'm very passionate about. I'm just reading a comment here by Trisha. Trisha Star says, I'm sitting here listening with my friend who is a pastor, and he says that she's from the Marine Kingdom. Here we go. With this, with this, with these people and the Marine Kingdom.
I'm your Moja,
Trisha Star,
Marikito.
Trisha Star, do me a favor and ask that pastor, has he been to the Marine Kingdom? Has he been there? Has he been? Has he seen them? Has he engaged with the Marine Kingdom? He knows all about it, right? He knows who is from where. Has he been to the Marine? These people, some
Let,
people are
let, let
just
the pastor
crazy.
come up. Let us do prayer power together. And I will see who will first go into the Holy Ghost power and cast away. That's the problem. Like they said, that it's a marine kingdom. Have you watched Aquaman movie? People who make it that go to the movie and watch Aquaman movie, that there was a movie about the marines and it was a beautiful sci-fi movie. But Nigerians, they have all these Africans about marine. Why not make it into a movie and then something beautiful comes out of it? But it has to be something evil. It has to be what they don't know. If you have knowledge of a marine kingdom, can't you even turn that into something that will make you money and make Nigeria stand out? Like, go to
Exactly.
that kingdom.
Exactly.
What science thing can you get from it? What healing power can you get from it? And I always ask people, if you are not, like, you go to church, you same Christian, you go to church and you say, may thunder fire my enemy, God kill my enemy. Is that not causes?
It is.
How is that different from people who go to a shrine and say, oh, Ogun, please bless me. Oh, Ogun, please don't let my enemy see road tomorrow. What is the difference? You are basically asking for your God to kill somebody. They are also asking their God to kill somebody. Whatever makes you righteous, because you do it in the name of a white, blue-eyed God, is that what makes it better? You go to your church asking for people to be killed every day, for your neighbors, for your vulnerable, for the old woman in your street who you have cut as wish to be killed. In your mind now, as a pastor, you're like, this girl, this woman now, she's a marine power. God, you have called Holy Ghost fire on that. You are just, that is the fear in you. That is the fear in you. And you are not better than when you say somebody has gone to the shrine. In the shrine, you always associate the shrine with everything evil. Ask yourself why. When your forefathers man eaters, how can they be more evil? Can your forefathers ever be more evil than the Christians, the colonizers who came to your country, who took your land away and was beating and hanging up and killing your forefathers in their farms, making them slaves, cutting out their hands, cutting out their tongue? How is that not the epitome of evil? Everything evil is incarcerated, and it is the religion of those people that you call and bring and say, oh, this one is marine water power, this one is marine water power. Your whole shrine is, has your forefathers ever done anything that outrageous? Has your forefathers ever done anything as evil as what your forefathers were made to face by the so-called Christians who enslaved them, who cut their head off, who hung them from the trees and gave them the hand word? Generation to generation, impregnating your women, making them slaves so that they will have more slave labor. How is that not the most evil thing that has ever happened to humanity? But yet, you take that the Christianity that they gave you is better and more poor, more divine than whatever your own forefathers ever did. Because you look down on your forefathers' shrine as killers. Who have they killed? They kill your mama? I don't know for them.
They say the pastor.
Can you tell me what is it with marine power? Because
They
some
say the
people
pastor.
marine power.
They say the pastor is busy laughing. Someone asked the question. It's Phil. Phil says, "What is the Marine Kingdom?" Okay, Phil. Right. You must understand very quickly before we close this. some people believe that there is so we were talking about the water, right? So in the water, very powerful. Some people believe that there are spirits that live inside the water, right? There are
Mermaids.
mermaids. So the mermaid thing. Now, you would call it a mermaid. Some other persons, they believe that mermaids are real, and that you see people, they will tell you, oh, wait, they saw a mermaid. A mermaid was washed up to the shore, and she couldn't her she couldn't flap anymore. She was about, they had to pour, they're all these claims. So any this marine kingdom are usually women that are found in this kingdom, right? And there's only goal is to destroy men. This marine kingdom thing.
Mommy
So
water
in
power.
in the marine kingdom, there's the head marina, right? The head woman. She's the leader. And so she has all her mermaid ladies, they all gather around her, and she tells them what to do. She assigns men to them. So she can sit there in her all her glory, and she will say, you come here. Your job is to Steve McRae manager, and that's your assignment, right? Until so she gives the this mermaid her duty. Her duty is go and see to Steve McQueen manager. So her duty is she will come in whatever form. She'll come and sleep with Steve McQueen manager, suck him dry, take all his money, just as long as he's not doing good in his life. That's her job, right? Her job is to see to it that the man becomes a shadow of himself till the day he dies, right? Then she will come and see to it that
Oh, you're frozen. Are you frozen now? Or is it me that's hot? Anyway, can anybody
she
hear
will
me?
go back.
Okay. Oh, you're frozen.
Yeah, she's frozen.
Okay, I can just why she started to say that. So, marine, just like she said, marine water, marine
yeah.
power, or whatever is okay. You're back. It's when just like when you say women emancipate, women kind of emasculate men. So in the African setting or Nigerian setting, they believe that the marine water or the marine power is that beautiful woman who comes to land, who is sent to, who is a mermaid, part man, part fish, part woman, part fish, sent from the kingdom by the head to come and suck men dry. So it's another form of women emasculating men and trying to suck them dry, trying to make things bad, anything bad happen in your house. But she does it as a form of a conniving or a woman who is just out there to deceive. So it's also part of when you say marine power. Women, if men tell you you have marine power, just realize that it is also part of sexism. It is
Yes,
sexism. It's a way of telling you that you what you are as a woman, you are just there to if the man is not doing well or whatever, then you are the one emasculating men. You're being assertive or whatever. Also, all those parts of that, just all those supernatural beliefs also have their roots in sexism. So it's not just remember, it's not just racism or slavery that we're talking about. We also have sexism in this case.
and
As a woman, don't
colorism.
do this. As a
Don't
woman, you are a
forget.
Jezebel. It's just the word Jezebel also,
Don't
connotes
forget.
the marine
Don't
thing.
forget. Don't
Mm.
forget colorism as well, because
Yeah.
these someone like Yemisi now, they would say Yemisi is from the marine kingdom. Just
Yeah.
mere looking at
Yeah.
any woman you see, once she's fair and she's beautiful, she's assertive, and she's the everything like a feminist, right?
Yeah. No, that's the word for
That
feminist. Yeah.
that and also the her skin complexion, if she's fairer than the most, yeah, if she's fairer, someone like Yemisi now, no, Yemisi is definitely from the marine kingdom, right? I may not necessarily come from marine because I'm darker, right? So
Are you
but
even like that is what we have to ask. Somebody who is educated in this age and day, still sitting down there, still opening their mouth and saying that woman is from marine kingdom. It tells you that we've got a very, very
A
big
pastor.
tax
A
on our
pastor.
hands. A pastor, of course, they use such language to suck people in.
A
What
pastor.
is marine kingdom? Then if you are a woman and you are still, you can be a woman and be part of their kingdom, but be part of their church. But why don't you challenge? Why don't you ask? Why is she a marine kingdom? What is it that she has said that everything instead of that is what explains my attractiveness. That is what explains my right to my being challenged, my challenging them is because I have supernatural powers. So that is the answer to everything. It's not because I have a brain. It's not because I'm educated. It's not because I can think and I'm challenging and I'm throwing out thoughts out there. No. So as far as they are concerned, it's because I've got this marine supernatural power. I think that explains everything. Women, they throw that words around just to silence you. Challenge them. What exactly do you mean by marine power? Then they will tell you that they live in the ocean, no, their head, and they have one tail, they have red fish leg. They don't challenge all that nonsense. You are educated now. Don't let men tell you nonsense. Challenge it. Because they are not just that. This person is not just looking at me as a marine person. It's also looking at me as a gender, as part of my gender. That's why they use the word this is for marine power. So it's a gender problem also. So if as a woman, you hear that and you don't challenge that back, one day it will be used against you also.
Let me tell you why this is really problematic to hear that a pastor is doing this. A lot of innocent people have been accused of things that they haven't done. And the community will come together and beat them to death. They will malign these people. They will shun you because a pastor has said you are demonic or you're from the devil or you're from... Look, children, I highlight it here on my channel. Children are accused of witchcraft because of pastors like that one that says, oh, you are from the marine kingdom. Do they know the impact of the things that come out of their mouth? Right?
Yeah.
People that listen, can you imagine if Trisha Star listening to this guy now believes the crap coming out of his mouth, right? And then she will say, hey, no, hey, I've got to log out. These people are married from the marriage. Do you understand? Do you know the impact of the things that these pastors do? And that's why I'm so anti.
That you know what I said in my blog post, 20 reasons I'm against religion. That's this person now. Imagine I'm just like maybe I needed to like go to their house for interview or something, for a job interview, and he happens to be there. Do you think they will give me that job? I will be struck up. That's part of, if I was here, it could be because of my race here. But yeah, there I would be like totally written off because of my beliefs, because of my lack of that I don't follow. So it would be like, oh, she's a witch, oh, she's a marine person, and to that they will slam the door in my face. And that could be, it could make me homeless because maybe I wouldn't get a job to pay for my rent. Then it could make me homeless. It could make me open to men trying to exploit me sexually, sexual abuse and all that, just because a stupid person decided that, oh, she is of the marine kingdom. Marine kingdom that they just throw words around. So what has impact? Religion is harmful. All those religious beliefs can be very harmful. You may say that, oh, if I believe in Jesus, it's just my own thing. No, it's not just your own thing. It has its impact. If you believe in what they're saying, you will treat your fellow human beings the way your pastors have told you to treat people. You will treat that. If your pastor said this person is a witch, believe me, you won't offer me a job when I need it. You won't open your door to me when I need it. If I'm homeless and all that, you won't open your door because you believe I'm of the evil world. I'm of the evil spirit because the pastor has said so. So yes, it does impact the way you treat people. And
exactly.
So your religion is harmless. It's not just one innocent thing you are practicing. No,
it's harmful. It's harmful.
It is very, very harmful. It separates families too. Imagine if your pastor, like I said, the pastor said I was a witch. I know the impact it had on me and my relationship with my family. So it separates family. It tears apart family just because of careless things people say. And I think we need to re-examine and start challenging all those words we throw around. And when next you are praying in your church and you are saying, may God kill my enemies, may God whatever, remember that you are no different than the person who went to the shrine to say, may God kill their enemies too. It's the same thing. So
All one and the
all
same.
you have to do to solve your problem is to tag somebody as evil, is to tag somebody as to be eliminated by, okay, not by your hand, but by the power hand of thunder of your God or whatever. It's the same thing. You have evil in your heart. That is the truth. You have evil in your heart. And when you have evil in your heart, all you just want from your God is to kill and to make you progress. Okay, God, give me that money. Oh, as if nepotism is not a thing. God, make me. I watch somebody say, oh, God, give me money. In the night, make me a millionaire. What is your job? So
Nothing.
you want to be a millionaire. But God will tell the water that at the same time, the same people will tell you that the reason you are not a millionaire yet is because of that old woman in your street.
Can
It's
you
always about the vulnerable people. It's because of
It's-
your mother-in-law who is old and all that.
look at
Nobody will come and
that
tell-
video.
Nobody will
Look
tell
at-
Buhari that his mother is a witch. Nobody
Of
will
course
tell Dangote
not.
that his mother is a witch because they
Of
are rich
course not.
people. It's always the poor women, poor children, orphans
Hmm.
that are tagged witches, that are tagged evil because they are vulnerable. They cannot defend themselves. So they are seen as, also don't forget, the disabled people in our society, people living with disability. There is a lot of stigma attached to that. Oh, they are evil. Oh, they've got evil spirits. Oh, they're the ones causing. There's a lot of harm religion has done and is still doing in our society, in the way we treat the vulnerable, the way we treat women, the way we treat our disabled, our elderly people, the way we
And
treat people
disabled people.
with disability.
And
Always
people with mental health
Yes.
disorders. Yemisi, let me just thank the person who's given us contributed to the channel, Shane the Skeptic, on point with everything. They cause these bad things when they preach these bad messages. Shane the Skeptic, unfortunately, everything they preach is found in the book. Jesus, their Jesus, Savior of the world, came across a man who today we will classify as having a mental health disorder, a mental health crisis, or something along those lines. He meets this man, and Jesus immediately starts talking to demons. Jesus starts talking to the demons inside of him, right? And this man, they say the demons start talking to Jesus, and Jesus and the demons say, "Oh, master, master, send us into the pigs." And the Savior of the world starts listening to the demons and sends those demons into the pigs. And what happens next? All the pigs, all of them, fell off the cliff and died. What do you think that the Savior of the universe decided to do afterwards, seeing that he had caused the death of those innocent pigs? He did nothing. They said he just moved over to the next city. He didn't care. He had
That
just
during that time, that Savior had not heard about animal rights then, and that God has not evolved animal rights. Now
no,
their
but
God will be talking about animal rights.
how come
I
their
know
God
what
did
you
not
mean.
how come their God did not recognize that the guy had a
Like I
mental
said,
health
that God
disorder?
is
It was
evolving.
no demon. It was not. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, at least let me think. One thing I'll say from that was at least their God did not start beating the man. That was what I was telling Pastor Yedeko. That at least your God talked to the demon and said, "Demon, come out." For our own pastors now, they beat you instead of beating the demon and talking to the demon. That was my challenge to Pastor Yedeko. You want to fight demon? I bet talk to the demon now. Talk to the demon and say, "Hey, you demon, it's you I have problem with you. I occupying that body. Come out, let's fight." Let the devil come out and fight you. But no, they start beating people. That is it. They start beating people. I recognize the father. Yeah, you said you send it to pigs as if pigs don't, the let them go and
Pigs
go.
lives pigs
Yeah,
pigs
matter. Pigs
lives
life
matter
matter.
too. That's right. We talk
So
about
yes,
human rights.
I get
We
it,
talk
but
about animal rights too. Huh?
yeah,
Jesus
and
just
they tell
killed
you
those
that,
pigs.
oh, their forefathers, the shrines and the oguns, that they sacrifice chickens and goats and whatever. Do you know how many goats your Abrahamic God asked for and sacrificed? So when you're talking about your African religion, they're like, oh, they still kill fowl, they still kill goats. I said, do you know how many goats and cows and pigs and whatever your God, your Abrahamic God will ask for sacrifice all the time and kills?
Jesus was the ultimate one, the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah,
That
imagine.
was
I think
Jesus, the ultimate sacrifice. God
it's
needed
okay to sacrifice humans.
God needed his
Blood.
own child to be killed, to be
God was his own
slain.
child.
Huh? He needs that blood for whatever reason. He needs that.
No,
But
it's
you
a
know,
case of
but
God created
Yemisi,
man and woman. God couldn't. They ate. They didn't know. He created them without knowledge, but somehow they found knowledge. So he decided to punish them for finding knowledge, for knowing the evil. And then he couldn't bring himself to forgive them. So he gave back to himself so that he could kill himself to forgive them. Or it could be that but then the way he also came back, he was also like he raped another man's fiancée. So he raped Mary, and because he said he considered bad that he was an immaculate bad. So somehow God's sperm got into Mary, made her pregnant to give back to himself, and that was it. You have to sacrifice humans. So when you're talking about Christianity and comparing it also to your African religion, believe me, Christianity, when it comes to shedding blood, shedding innocent blood, and it's worse than whatever your forefathers did in that shrine.
Exactly.
It is worse than. So don't let them blind your eyes. And none is better. You have to, whether religion, be it the African religion or whatever, the concept of God, of wanting to sacrifice of a higher being, is redundant in this day and age. It is. You could talk that when you could talk that in the early days when people were wondering what is beyond the sky. Is the world flat? Is the world? We've moved long ago from that, and we should be able to question things now. And one thing we have developed now is morality. You know, it's not right to kill. You know, it's not right to steal. But still, your God encourages and endorses all those things. So far, you are doing it in the name of your God. How does that make sense to you? So what I would just, I think part of the problem we have, one thing that just pain me in my heart is the fact that everywhere you go in Nigeria and Africa, the way they still anything white, be it religion, be it the accent, be it even the food. I mean, I was at work one day and two people were talking about a colleague who brought amala, you know, the
Nigerian, Nigerian food that you eat with your hand.
You eat it with your hand. And the person was like,
delicious.
People be bringing that to us. I said, what's wrong with you? Do you complain when people are eating fish and chips with their hands?
No.
With the hands or whatever, I will bring it to work and I will use my hand to eat it the way I want to eat it, and I will crush my chicken in the kitchen the way I crush it at home, because what is my food is the way I eat, and that's who I am. You have to learn to have pride in who you are and not expect other people to determine how worthy or what value to put on you. And that's also to seep into your culture. The way you embrace your tongue, the way you embrace your food, the way you embrace your name, those are the things that will make you realize that you are worthy. Your forefathers were worthy. Your ancestors were worthy. You don't have to emulate or look like another god or feel like another to be worthy. And that is the cross for me. When you go to our villages and our community centers and you still walking there and you see the picture of a white woman called Mary in the center, and you just like, what relationship has this person got with the people in this village? They don't look like her, they don't feel like her, but that is the most revered monument, the most revered statue in that place.
Terrible.
It breaks my heart.
They worship the statue.
They worship the statues, and it's just part of the remnants. And I would say that slavery, they may have ended slavery, but the worst part of it is the legacy it left behind, the mental colonization. And then you have to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind, like Bob Marley said. And that is part of the struggle, trying to make people see, trying to make people feel. But of course, we need society also that, a society where the healthcare works, where things works, where people don't have to rely. I don't even know why they still rely on the pastors. It's not as if they are saving them. It's just rule over their heads. But people just need to have something to hold on to. And that is it. They just need to have something to hold on to. I've had doctors lie. I've had people tell me that, I was recently had an encounter where they said that because my family member was going through a serious medical situation, and one pastor, one of them, whatever, just mentioned that, when they were praying, they had that, look, I'm an atheist, I don't need that. I was like, now they know it was because of me. God wanted to show his power. That was why my relative is sick. Now, I'm talking about the C word. And I was like, what? And I had to
Oh
speak.
my
I went to the
goodness.
hospital, I was like, wait a minute. Your God must be very evil then. How
Mm.
sadistic, how egomaniac must it be? What an ego for him to say, for your God, for you to stand there that the reason this has happened to my fellow is because God wanted to show his power through me. So because God wanted me to call him God, he will now afflict somebody with
Afflict
those.
somebody with a disease,
I was like,
a
can you
terminal
listen to
disease.
yourself? Can you just for 1 minute, just listen to yourself? How evil is your God? I
Mm.
thought you said your God is God of love. You know, it baffles my mind that they couldn't even comprehend what I was saying. That what came out of their mind was the ultimate bile, appalling thing you could tell somebody in that situation.
Mm.
But that's how blinded people are by their beliefs. How
Their
can you just stay
religion.
there and say that because God wanted to show his power, and then you
Mm.
are there still extolling that God? You are evil yourself. Say you
There
are
you
evil.
go.
Your God
I,
is evil.
I think, yeah, me see, on that note, I think it's safe to say we can now round this up because it's time that people start to question these religions, challenge these people, challenge what you read in these books. Yemisi worked it out at the age of 17 in Nigeria as an atheist. Can you imagine a 17-year-old atheist in Nigeria? Yemisi, I commend you.
Thank you.
Honestly, you are what I would consider a trailblazer, and I'm so glad to be coming behind you, right? Taking up the baton from where you have left it, and just doing the work, activism, speaking up, and just showing ourselves that look, we too we can do this. There's not many of us. Let me see. There is not many of us at all. There's not many. Most of our African women are today, Friday now. A lot of them will be in one night vigil or the other, right? A lot of them would be there. There are some. There are some women who will bow down to their pastor and disrespect everyone else in their lives. They will bow down to the pastor and disrespect their husband when it's time to make decisions in the home until they have heard from the pastor before they can make any decisions whatsoever. The husband will say, I think we should do it this way. The wife will say, no, we must go and talk to the pastor. And the pastor will tell them that, look, you must come to me. The pastors make themselves the be all and end all in the lives of our people, right?
Let me just tell you one story. Sorry to take you short.
No,
Just
no,
talking
it's
about
fine.
pastors' power. Just now talking about women's rights. I was told I was in Nigeria recently, and because of a medical situation, and I actually had a woman, educated woman, in that hospital. We were watching a TV, and she said the pastor was teaching as usual. The pastor was there, or whatever, and then she said their pastor told them that the reason they haven't found a cure for cancer was because the child that was supposed to cure cancer was aborted by their mother.
Well, I don't understand.
So they said their pastor said it was, talking about, I think we were talking about abortion rights that was being abolished in the UK, in US then or whatever.
The
And
US,
then their
yes.
pastor has told them that the reason that we haven't found a cure for cancer was because
Oh,
the child that was supposed to find that cure
the
has
one
been
who was supposed to
aborted
find the cure was aborted
was aborted. That
by the
and that is why
mother.
we should fight against abortion. Just imagine, and I was there looking at, my head was like, and you believed that. So that is when you now see women saying fighting against reproductive rights for women. It blows your mind. This person is an educated person, but they said that. They said that 2 months ago. It was not something that happened. I was in Nigeria, June, July, whatever. They said, and my mind was blown that this actually came out and they said it openly. And that is why those people will now go and start campaigning against abortion rights for women, campaigning against reproductive rights for women because their pastor said so. because the pastor. So I was like, your God, even if your God gave that person power, so your God couldn't give another child power to cure cancer. It has to be that child that was aborted. That is how you use that influence, that power to implement policies.
Yes.
When your religious beliefs becomes law. So it's not just careless talk. That thing will impact. Now imagine somebody who's not a legislator who has that kind of power, and the constituent saying, no, we want a ban on abortion rights, and abortion is illegal in Nigeria, and then it continues to be illegal because the pastors have said you are killing people who would have, you would have cured cancer. Yeah. Guys, it blows my mind sometimes. But
can you imagine that a pastor actually said to his congregation,
said that, and a woman believed that, a woman who had cancer herself believed that, and said that
she had cancer herself, and so she's been told that the reason why she has this disease is because the one who was supposed to produce the cure for cancer, the reason why cancer doesn't have a cure today is because the one who was supposed to find the cure was aborted by its mother. Can you imagine this?
It boggles the mind, doesn't it?
It does. I've never heard this before.
And the way they just said it so authoritatively, and I'm just like, where do you even begin with those people? Where do you even start? Where do you start?
Well, Yemisi, I want to thank you once again for coming. Honestly, guys, before we go, I am going to put the link to Yemisi's her book. The book cost me, it was just really very cheap on Amazon.
£10 or £9.
Not a lot of money at all. So I'm going to put the link. So yes, please support the cause. The book is about where is it now? What have I done with
it's about LGBT rights in Africa, and
it is.
Well, yeah, I would say check out my blog post if you are really.
I'm going to put the link. I'm going to put the link in the chat now. Please, guys, follow her. You just never know. You might come across someone who needs this information. You might come across, these are the challenges that we face. Never mind these religions tell you, oh, the book answers all things. It's a lie. Their book doesn't answer anything. Their books are ancient. Their books their books do not fit in our reality. Those books, once upon a time, maybe, but you see, in this our reality. The Bible cannot answer the questions that we have for today. The Quran cannot answer the questions that we have for today. Those books, they should be done away with.
They never even answered any question. They served the purpose, and the purpose was always to imprison minds. It was to imprison the minds of people, and it never was ever any solution. The people, even in their own country, in their own town, in their own time, when they brought out the Bible, it was all about control. It's always about control. People, controlling minds, and then when they needed that same Bible, they used it to control their people, to build a class system, to build the laws, the serves, and whatever, because God has order of who is good and who can. Then when they needed it for economic reasons, to justify enslavement, to justify colonization, they brought it to Africa, and they sold us out, and they tell the people backwards we are subhumans, so we are not human enough. Even the Bible said your skin color, and whatever. And our people also bought it. They bought into it after torture and whatever. But it never served any purpose. It wasn't as if it served a good purpose. Its purpose has always been to control people, to control minds. And that's always been, it has never had any answer for anything. It has never. So it's always been an instrument of oppression.
Exactly. Listen, Yemisi, thank you very much for your activism. You're not as active on the atheist front.
My books and my words are there for people to read.
You are still, honestly, I've got it. I've got the book, and guys, do follow her. Okay, let me put the link to your blog.
The blog is where you will find all my thoughts on atheism, on religion, on health. So I would say,
you know what? I'm going to go over there and go and steal some things from there.
Yeah. So the
But
blog
I
is
will make sure. I'll
yeah,
make sure to credit you. I'll make sure to
yeah, you need
credit
to share the
you.
link. Share the
I'm
link from the
I'm
blog
going
too.
to do that.
Yeah.
I think I did, didn't I? Just give me 1 second. I think
So
I
yeah,
did.
whatever I have to say on religion is so active there. That's what I always said. And for me, yes, I was once a very militant atheist, but I've written things I needed saying. And I don't see any point in rehashing myself. People want to talk now, I'll just send them a blog link. Go and read that. That's all I have
There
to
you
say.
go.
And
That's it.
I've got all the battles to fight, and that is still there. So I want to say, oh, I'm not like on the YouTube channel anymore, talking all the time, because I've done the videos, I've done the write-ups, I've written blogs,
Mm,
and you can't. That one thing I've learned is, as an activist, there will be time when you will experience burnout. So you need to like pace yourself, identify what
yeah.
battles are worth fighting right now, and just don't burn out, because you can't solve the whole world's problem. You just have to like take yourself into consideration too, and you need to understand the side of people you're dealing with. And if people are telling you that God is that God is love, you can challenge like the way I challenged that person. That way you can still
Yeah.
challenge and make them think that is your God evil, is your God love, is this definition of love? But the one that said the person has said somebody has killed, aborted, you just have to link it to abortion rights. But the thing is, you can't save people. People they have to be ready to save themselves. But what I can only give is give them the resources and the materials. Whatever they do with it, that's now their problem. So for me, I'm like, you need to learn not to be consumed by your activism, or else you will
Mm,
lose joy in your own life. And
there
that's
you
and like
go.
I started my activism from a very, very young age. Like I said,
Mm,
right from when I was in my 20s, I'd already been arrested on the national TV, dropped in, put incarcerated for 2 weeks without people even knowing where I was. But I started my activism at a very age. I was consumed by it. I was like, I needed social justice, but I grew and I started growing, and the passion didn't diminish, but I learned how to manage and not let be consumed by a single issue. I am a woman of we don't have just one single issue. I practice my intersectionality, where I know I'm a black woman. I'm a woman. I've got the sexism to deal with. I'm a black woman in whatever. I've got racism to deal with, and I'm a
mm,
bisexual woman. I've got my sexual identity issues to deal with, and I'm
mm.
an atheist. I've also got the religious thing to deal with.
Wow.
And
Just
I'm a single mother. I'm
mm,
a
mm,
single
mm,
woman. So I've got a lot of issues that I can't. If you let things consume you, you don't end up living your life. You don't
no.
be always smiling or laughing. Look, I can because I don't want things to define me. I don't want my atheism to define me. I don't want my sexuality to be the only thing people know about me. I mean, I have done a lot in my life. I've been at the stage. I was the youngest trade union leader in the world. As vice president of the International Trade Union Confederation. I've been active as the ILO Committee of Applications for 2-3 years as member there. So I've done a lot in my life, and I do not need
Mm,
one single issue to define me. I do not want people to be like, oh, she is this atheism that has consumed me. That's what they know me for, or whatever. You have to live your life, balance your whole life, and enjoy it at the same time. Fight your cause, do your cause, but remember you are here to live, not to keep fighting,
yes.
not to
Yeah, there
keep.
you go.
So
Like I say, like
yeah,
myself, right? This channel was birthed because of my anger when I realized that religion was
yeah.
false. Everything I thought I knew was
Mhm.
all just made up. So I'm very active here on
It's good.
Facebook, or not Facebook, what am I talking about, on YouTube, right? A time will come I won't be able to do this.
Yeah, I'm like I
I
said,
will
I'm
move
noticing
on
other people are doing it
to
now.
other things, and
Yeah,
that time might
it's
come
good. That is it.
soon.
You
You
will,
know,
it's good to be angry. You saw
yes.
the video you played. What did I say? I said, I am hungry. I am
Mhm.
hungry. It's good to be angry, because when YouTube gave me that volume to go and have YouTube and talk and social media, I was always like tagged like the angry woman. I'm angry. Of course, I'm angry a lot. I'm angry at homophobia. I'm angry at religion. But then I told people why I was angry. I wrote about why I was angry. I wrote
Mhm.
about the
Mhm.
20 ample things, reasons why I was angry about religion. I wrote about why I was an atheist. And I did all that body work, because you need to express yourself. You need to live that. But at the time you realize, okay, I'm still angry I'm very much angry at racism right now, because that's part of and I'm seeing it in the society that I am in now. And it's consuming. It can be all consuming, and even then, I have to like, okay, take a deep breath. You just need to leave. Don't be consumed, because or else you'll be consumed by that hate that they are trying
Yeah.
to throw your way too, and that is all you are reacting to. Then you
Mm-hmm,
forget you
mm-hmm.
did. So as an activist, you need to learn to pace yourself so that you are not burnt out. You are not consumed by the hate they are throwing at you.
No, 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 no,
You
no.
and
We
you
don't
learn
want
to
that.
like, you're coming from a place of love. Live your life in such a way that my motto is in such a way that if I drop dead today, I will be happy that I enjoyed my life.
That's
I'll be
right.
happy that I found happiness in my space.
Okay, can I, before we go, just quickly, like I said, that Yemisi is not one for just talk. She actually walks the walk. She is one of these people that now I'm going to show you a video, and this is Yemisi. The video you're going to see next. This is Yemisi personified, right? So just hang on a minute, and I will just show you this. Let me share. This is Yemisi. I forgot all about this, but yeah, here we go. So this is Yemisi. Okay, and if you think, oh, what's that all about? Just hang on, just look. This is, I mean, yeah. Oh my, that bag though. Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah. Listen, she's always dancing, always has a smile on her face. And like I said, every time I see her, she looks to me like she's got no worries at all, none whatsoever. See, she has fought the fight, and now she's at the point in her life she's very settled in herself. She's openly she openly bisexual. She's openly an atheist. She's a feminist. Listen, she wears so many hats. And because of people like Yemisi, I tell you, the world is a better place. We need many more Yemisis, right? And so, guys, whatever you find to do, if you whatever, right? Whatever you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to start a blog, you want to whatever it is, right? Do something, right? You don't have to wait until your accent is like, look at myself, right? I'd never been to I'd never done a philosophy class one day in my life, because all the God conversations always lead to philosophy, always lead to debates. I don't do debates. I don't philosophy where, but that didn't stop me making my voice heard, and I'm still at it. Oh, and before I go, let me put tomorrow. I'm going to be on the black non-believers in the court. Let's see, share. Let me. So those of you who know about the black unbelievers, non-believers, sorry. So I'm going to be on there tomorrow. So guys, keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever stop. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot be your best possible self, right? And of course, religion is nothing but a scam. There is no truth in any religious claim. It's all nothing but a pack of lies made up. Well, no, not okay, not lies, but they made up. They just make up the stories, put it here, put it in a book, and then they brush it on and say, "Oh, here, this is the word of God." There is no word of no God in any book. God does not write. Their God does not speak. First, they should start by proving the existence of the said God, and yet they use that God to control our people, to control so many. It's really sad and heartbreaking to hear a pastor sit there and say you're from the marine kingdom. Are you all right?
It's not the
Something
first
wrong with
time.
you?
I always tell them that there's no insult. Why is it that whenever I'm with the pastor, even when I was growing up as a teenager, it's always that they resort to. The first thing, I'm like, you are not telling me anything new, mister. Do you think you've just said anything your other pastors or your other believers have not said? It's always, she's marrying power. She's marrying kingdom. So it's not that you are just regurgitating things you've had in the past, and you have not come up with a new insult. It's an old insult, so it's nothing new to me. If you start and say she's married, that's the first thing people always say, because that's what you're used to, and that's what your mind has been. No, I just pity that your mind is so closed that it's not open to new things, not open to new ideas. So it's all old ideas sitting in there, and it's a shame. You can do much better with your hand. But what I would just tell anybody watching here who is African, who is a woman, or who is LGBT plus, is just to always ask yourself that if you drop dead today, just remember, you are the only one that will be buried. Nobody is going to be buried with you. So if you like, you want to be who you are, or you are living your life to please others, once you drop dead, give them a few weeks to forget about you.
Honestly.
So why don't you live your life for you? Because it's just our own life. So live your life for you. Be who you want to be. I know it's not always easy to say be openly bisexual, be openly lesbian, or be openly anti-religion or whatever, but take that step. Always have it in your mind that these people I'm trying to please, they will not be buried with me, but I would have ended up living my life, my one life, to please them.
To please them.
What have you gained? Nothing.
Let me just quickly address somebody in the chat. Brett Keen Official, God TV Radio. If it is a scam, why do you run from debates or discussions? He also asks, where is the other one? He says, where's the other thing he wrote here? Okay, why do I run from debates?
Who runs for debates? I'm always
he's saying,
defended.
no, not you, not you.
Okay.
About me. About
okay.
me. I have a platform where I engage in conversation. I reserve that for Clubhouse, right? I've got 1,000 followers on Clubhouse, right? And that didn't happen because I just was a pretty face. You don't even go with your face, they don't see it. So I don't run from debates. I don't run from conversations. I know I'm not very good at having debates. I'm not good at having all that back and forth. I like conversations instead. I don't run from conversations. Oh, absolutely not. But I have a platform here, and my platform, I do this kind of thing, right? A lot of Africans are wallowing in this thing called religion, and it's so heartbreaking. Nigeria, for example, has, in a population of 200 and something million people, the majority of those are religious people. My fight is not with you, Brett King. I have a different kind of fight that I'm fighting, right? You are the least of my worries. Trust me. Trust me. You are the least of my worries.
Yeah, it's different from the Christianity I left behind, and that is, your Christianity.
This person talking to me. Put him over there and see whether he would do Christianity.
They just feel like I said, the things I've experienced as a Christian back home, it's not the same that, if you're beating a pastor is beating a child, they will be charged to court. That will be child abuse. Social workers will get involved and all that. We don't have that kind of protection back in many African countries. And
I have a video
Yeah.
I have a video. I don't know if you know this actress, Foluke Daramola, right? We went to
Mm-hmm.
school together. This particular lady, because she does some kind of advocacy work, some parents came to them and said their 3-year-old was raped by a pastor. As an organization, they were trying to, bring charges and take him to court and all these things. The same parents came back and said, no, we've decided to leave it. We've decided to, uh, uh,
Yeah.
the words from their mouth was, we have decided to let God punish him instead. Let God take care of him. They said, but no, we want. They said, no, we are not prepared to fight. We are done. He's God's messenger here on earth, and God would do with him. And they abandoned it. So the lady says, what do you then do? A 3-year-old has been raped, and the guardians, the parents, the ones who should raped by a pastor. And guess what? That pastor, he will go on to carry on his ministry. Ministry continues, right?
It's
So
nothing new. It's there. It's horrible. The God pastors are held in such high esteem, in such high regard that there are many gods, there are demigods. And I've told them, people will like, oh, you speak against the anointed, comments like that, oh, you have cancer, within 3 weeks you will die, you whatever. Those are Christians because you dare to speak against what their pastor has done. So it is the power that has been conferred on the pastor. It's ridiculous. It's the atrocities that has been committed in the name of God, in the name of being a pastor, in the name of religion. And some will tell you, oh, it's just humans. My God is not like that. But the thing is, they derive that power from the concept of God. If there was no concept of God, there would be man of God, pastors who would have that power. So pastors derive their power and the reverence they get from the concept of God. The fact that you believe there is a God kind of pass over power to the pastor. If you believe that there is no God, your pastor becomes powerless. Your pastors becomes priests and popes and all that becomes people of irrelevance to you. So it's all connected.
exactly. Oh well. I wish him all the very best. But you know what?
Why do
In
you
the
even
future,
want to discuss? What, like I
no,
said,
I don't mind. I don't mind
I can discuss,
conversations.
but the
I don't
thing is,
mind that.
like
In
that,
the
things you don't
future,
even bother.
that Brett King, contact me. I've got my links there. Contact
Mm.
me. We can arrange a stream. We can have a discussion. What is it you want to discuss about? You want to discuss your Bible? You want to discuss whatever it is?
Want to
Yeah,
discuss the cure for cancer? Yeah, it's something that's like in my life right now, not family,
yeah, you
family member,
said so.
and then they were like,
Sorry.
oh,
I'm sorry.
when you're praising God, because God, and I was like, oh, I will praise chemotherapy and I will donate money to cancer research, but then they want to donate money to the churches and the pastors
To
and
pastor.
whatever. That is the problem. And then when you have,
Disgusting.
when you have doctors saying that, oh, you are still alive because of God, oh, that then you are also giving the people, the pastors, more power because then the people, rather than think of, okay, the chemotherapy is what is working, then it becomes that it is prayer that is working, and
Yeah.
then pastors have more power over you when you have your own doctor telling you, we can't even explain this. It's the power of God. And I was like, then why are we paying money for chemotherapy then? Why are we paying so much
It's not
money for
no
chemotherapy?
power of no God.
Why
It's
are you giving them
terrible.
chemotherapy if it's God? You understand? Then you must have believed that the chemotherapy must be working, something must be working, must at least have a chance of working for you to administer chemo. But you are still the same person saying this is true to God. It's conflicting. And then when you say that to people, you give pastors more power. People don't understand the power of their words. Because you say that to a cancer patient and you tell them that, oh, you are giving them chemo, they're paying a lot for the chemo, and you are saying this is all due to God's work. Oh. It's not about it's horrible. That is the way we keep our people enslaved, and we keep them perpetually in the control of pastors, of people who will lie to them and who will pay money for you to pay your money. I mean, if you're diagnosed with cancer, you want to like, if you even sell your properties to fight to keep you alive. And that is the problem. Trying to make sure, it's horrible. That's why we pray.
Meanwhile, their God sits there and just watches
That
it
God
all
sits there and does nothing. And I was
and
asking,
does
why is it
nothing.
that it's only you that God is keeping alive for 1, 2, 3, whatever. What about others? Why not just provide the cancer cure if your God is
No,
that?
look at when the COVID hits, right? Their God sat there. In fact, did you hear? I don't know if you ever heard this sentiment by some people. Some people started saying that it was a God brought the COVID to teach humanity a lesson,
That is
to
because
put
they are
us
full of
to
hate,
put us
like
in
their
our
God.
place, so that we can remember God. That we
God,
have
imagine.
forgotten God, but God has brought this as a reminder to us humans to respect Him. And I'm like, meanwhile, all the pastors and all the preachers, they were all waiting for the cure for COVID because all their churches shut down.
All their churches
All the
shut down, their
churches
money
shut down.
shut down. But the
Nobody could
important
go to
thing
church
is,
no more.
always when people talk, like I said, I came to reject the concept of God because of my morality. It has nothing to really, because it pains even as a child. How do you, if you had a mother who would say, I'm going to, because you disrespected me, I'm going to kill
Punish
your
you.
friends and kill you, or just bring something like COVID to you so that you will know I am your mother, and then you will learn to respect me. What will
Terrible.
you say of that mother? Would we all say that is a terrible mother?
A
We
vile
will say that is a
character.
vile mother, that is a wicked
Yes.
mother, that is an
Yes.
evil mother. Why doesn't the same level of decency and morality apply to your God?
Exactly.
Why do you openly create this monster? You create this monster and you say that God is love. Because what you have just described is a monster who feels an emasculated man. An emasculated, or if you that, you know what they call this, the what Greta Thunberg was talking about, small dick energy. Your God was that small dick energy.
That God needs. That
For
God
your God
needs.
to feel like,
That
oh,
God needs. That God
it's time for me to show my macho
that
power.
God needs a dildo to help his
So he said
cause.
that I need to show my macho power, and the way of showing my macho power is to just inflict you with some COVID thing, or in the days of Testament with plagues and bites, and it's still the same concept of the Abrahamic God. It's still the same mentality that your God has inflated you with cancer because he wants to show his free will, he wants to show he's still God. Then because he's still God, out of the 100 of people in a month that will die of cancer, he can decide to save one because he wants to prove to that one that he is God. It's just so stupid and so ridiculous.
But
Yemisi,
no. Instead of answering the prayers of the people who are dying with cancer, you will answer the prayer of the person looking for their house keys. That's more important.
It's just, yeah, but it is also all about fear, and people don't want to question, or even when people question, they're like, what is the alternative? We've been led to believe this. Before you even find alternative, break yourself from that shame first. Then you will cross that border when it comes. And must there be an alternative? Why can't you just live and take life? Because whatever, like I always say, that whatever I achieve as myself. I remember when I was like with activists in the National Association of Nigerian Students, and I was very active. Like when I was arrested and at a young age by the military government, and people were like, oh, she's a woman like a man. And I remember that was something I said in that program, the first national program. I said, I'm not a man. I am a woman. And whatever I did as a woman. And that does not take anything away from me. So calling me a man is not a compliment. Just the same way, whatever I achieve as myself, saying I achieve it, and then you don't want to accredit it to God, it is God. No, God didn't pay my house rent, I paid it. God didn't give me my job, I struggled to find my job, many interviews, and I got it. So my successes and my failures are mine. I am happy to own up to it. I'm not going to give credit to a God, and I'm not going to give credit to a masculine gender for things I strive for in my life. So if we have people who are making strides in getting us cures, in getting us chemotherapy cures, getting us cancer cures, getting us polio cures, and all that, and getting us COVID cures, give the praise where it is due.
Where it is dead. There you go.
Give it
well
where
said. Well
then
said.
we can learn to respect, know where to put our money, not in churches, not in building buildings for pastors, not in replenishing their wardrobes and their cars and their fight and their private jets, but we donate it to causes that matter. So the people that are fighting to really find the cure for cancer, to the people that are giving us the cure for COVID, that is where you should be donating your money to, not your churches, not your pastors. Not, we need to get our priorities right, but we must get the narrative right first. And that is where my people are falling
They
short.
perish.
Yeah,
They perish for lack of
knowledge.
brain functioning. Anyway, guys,
They just need to
listen.
grow a brain. I know many people don't
We
like that when I say that, but yeah,
They
you
need to
need
grow
you
a
need to
what?
come to me with your
Grow.
God
Did you say
solution.
grow a brain?
They need to grow a brain.
Oh, okay.
Or they need to use the brain, whatever I was giving them.
Okay. Oh,
Whatever
but
they have
listen,
in
Yemisi, thank you so much, guys. I
there.
put the
Yeah.
links to Yemisi's book, her blog, everything I've put in the chat. Her Facebook, you can go and see her dancing. It's like
Yeah, I
as if
dance now. I take my
she
bum bum.
dances every day. Oh my goodness, you listen. I'm not even going to mention the bum bum. Let's not go there, right? Because it's all over. When I log on to your Facebook, that's the first thing I see. It's there. It's like I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
You have to, it's also part of embracing who you are. There are people who are like, oh, she's a single 47-year-old atheist, not believer or whatever. The thing is, I live my life for me. I
There
don't
you
care what
go.
people say. I don't care that you say, why is she wearing that short dress or showing her bumps or her boobs on there? It is my feminism. It is my, you have to embrace everything in you. If you care about what people think about you, then you will not live to your full potential. So what is everything I do, whether on social media or whatever, I ask, am I being true to myself? Is it giving me joy? Am I doing it for others or am I doing it for me? So if I fucking want to dance and shake my bum bum and wear a short dress and have a boob whatever out, I will.
Boob
Because
fest.
guess what? It's my body. It's my
Boob fest.
time. It's my life. I don't give a damn. It's just when people think that you care about what they think about. I'm just like, you must really be up your ass. Whatever gave you the impression that I care about your opinion on my body, on my life, on how I live my life. When you stop caring about what people think, when you start looking for validation from people, then you can actually start to be your true self. You can
There you
actually
go.
start to enjoy who you are. And that is what I am. If you see me, I love dancing, I love music, I love taking pictures. People can
Oh,
call it
yes.
vanity. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I have had to unlearn a lot to be comfortable in my body. I've
There
had
you
to
go.
unlearn a lot of things about how a woman should behave, what a beautiful woman should look like, a lot of fat phobia, a lot of a lot of things that they just feel it's all there. All those rules are there to control you. Religion was there to control, and then society has its own rule to control women. I'm like, look, you know what? I'm a free spirit. I can't be controlled by your rules. So make
No.
your own rules, because when I die, whenever I die, I'm going to be buried alone, not with you and your rules. So
Listen. So Yemisi, I'm going to need you to make us a promise that you will be back again.
I never left. I know you
No,
keep
I mean, no.
saying
What? No. Back again here on
okay
this channel.
on this channel.
We're gonna
Okay.
get you back here. We're gonna talk about something completely different. And
Ah,
I actually have something. I have something that I'm working on. Not working on, but something I have in mind. Right. Um, I wanted to talk about the state of Christianity in Nigeria, specifically from your perspective, right? So hopefully, in the near future, that's something we would do. Trisha Star says, "Can we shake our bum bums together?" Yemisi.
I'm up for shaking bomb bomb, please.
As long as that pastor does not get to watch, then fine.
My
But if
dear,
that
it
pastor,
is pastors that watch a lot. The way they slide into my DM,
did you
you'll
did you
just be
see
like, they
did
are
you
just the
see
highest hypocrites there.
Did you see the video of the Did you see the video of the pastor that's in the church? He was watching pornography, but somebody he didn't know that he was being recorded, right? He was in the church, sat there and on his phone, and he's busy looking at. In fact, funny enough, it was even a woman's ass. He was busy looking.
It's not today. They've always
While
been.
somebody was
It's
busy
not
recording the
today.
guy.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's always there. They are always the worst, because what they can't, the things they do in the back, just because they feel nobody is looking or watching, and they are so shameless. They will even slide into your DM and try to talk.
Chat you
And
up.
that's the thing they corrupt.
Talk
They
rubbish.
get all those guys. I think that was like a pastor one time like that. Oh, I've forgotten his own name. Who are they? He was going. He actually I went to the girl was like 15, 16, 17 or whatever when he started grooming her, and
Oh wow.
later had relationship with her. And then when the girl now spoke out as an adult, come and see the way people were like, oh, she just wants to bring the man down. And I did a video on that, and I think I did a video and a post on that. That what is it? Why are you always making excuses for your men and for your pastors?
Mhm.
And then they were like, yes, he did wrong, but this guy just wants to bring down his ministry. Just the same narrative. So yeah, pastors know that they can get away with all that. She admitted it, he apologized, but did he pay anything for it? It was the
Oh,
woman
absolutely
that was
not.
now cast out.
Exactly. She'll be
I know
vilified.
on that,
She'll
but
be vilified by these people. Anyway, they say the pastor loves it. He loves pastor wants to watch. Mm-hmm.
let them
Pastor wants to
watch.
watch people shake their no, the pastor right next to Trisha. Anyway, listen, we need to go. It's been 3+ hours, and Yemisi, I'm gonna have to let you go. Well,
Oh
guys,
yeah.
don't forget, tomorrow I'm going to be on the black. Did I put the link in the chat? I'm going to be on the black non-believers show in the court. Let me one last time. So yes, catch me there, and Yemisi will be back again. So we will go deep into we will think of something else, right? So Yemisi, thank you so much for coming and uh giving us your time. I do appreciate it. We brought you out of your would I call it hibernation. We
Yeah,
brought you
yeah.
out of hibernation.
It's not that about donation because I hardly do this, to be honest. I always
I
like,
know, I know,
I don't
I
want to,
know.
but yeah,
You
it's okay.
you
Before we
you
have to revelation, and it's been good. I think it
the
was
next
Dean.
I think the
Dean,
next
Dean,
one,
that Dean brought me out of the hibernation first the other time because before Dean, I hadn't like I was always turning people down, like I'm in
oh
retirement now. But then I came out for Dean, and then he didn't told you about me,
yeah,
and
he
yeah.
did, he
So
did, he
yeah,
did.
yeah,
And
you
also
I'm in semi-retirement.
maybe the next one, what I'll do is we will have the first 5 minutes will be our bomb shaking session. We will dance first for 5 minutes. So Trisha, get yourself. Hey, someone says, I just subscribed to Yemisi. Thank you so much for subscribing to Yemisi. Thank you, Beatrice Munch. Thank you. So, Trisha, get ready. The next time, all the ladies in the house, the men can join too. I'm not forced, but it's just that the men, their bums are always very stiff and very I don't know, you don't get the jiggle, I like the jiggle. I like, when the bum is has a healthy jiggle to it, not those stiff. No, you
Oh,
don't have time for that. Trisha,
oh.
oh, what's her page? Okay, give me 1 second, let me quickly put her page here before we go. Let's see her page. What When you say her page, is that her uh I'll put all of them here.
My social media is always my Facebook is Yemisi Ilesanmi anyway, but my social media is always Cover Yemi. You can find me on Instagram or TikTok
That's
at
her face. Oh,
Cover
you're on
Yemi. Let me
TikTok?
just type that.
You're on TikTok?
My TikTok, yeah, I'm on TikTok. I'm always,
Oh wow.
yeah, I just I
Okay.
use the same name. So
On TikTok?
yeah, on TikTok and Instagram. So I put it there in the chat. Can you see that?
So wait, you're on Instagram and on TikTok?
Yes.
I'm on Instagram and on TikTok. So I will look for you on both.
Okay, so the name is
Mm.
Cover Yemi on Instagram.
Okay, let's have a look. I think you said you put it in the chat. So
Mm.
guys, those are her YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, if you want to see her dance, just go. It's Facebook. You see, once you just see her dancing every day. Let's see here.
Yeah, go in
Ah,
the
Curvy Yemi. Is this on Curvy Yemi? Is that on TikTok or what's that?
it's both on TikTok and
Let me.
Instagram. It's the same name there.
All right, okay, I will check it
So
out now.
yeah, it's the same name on TikTok and Instagram.
Okay. All right, guys. You all have a lovely rest of your day, lovely rest of your night, and we will see you I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be on let me see, I'll be on this channel. It's anyway, I'll don't go yet. I'll tell you in the back.
Okay.
In the back. Yes. All right, guys. You all take care and see you all tomorrow. Don't forget, on your way out, like the stream, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you very much. And let's engage in the chat. If it's anything that you've enjoyed, particularly about the conversation, let me know about it in the comment section. So, but thank you at least for engaging with us. Thank you. All right. And Phil, thank you so much for helping in the back, just putting us in order and sorting things out. Thank you so much. All right, guys, everyone, you all take care, and I see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.
Do you have a moment? And this very second, I know you feel the beat. Do you feel the rhythm all the way? Can you see the vision? Everything in this world will be okay. Can we be together all the way? I know you feel this movement right here. You just be vibing, reaching for something within